can I get a certificate for this course after finishing it? Absolutely, you can get a certificate for completely free. And I'm gonna show you in the last section of this course how to go there. You're gonna go to cpu.academy website, then you will have a quiz there over this course. Don't worry, all the questions inside this quiz inside this course, and this quiz is for completely free. This section is a beginner section. Is gonna give you a big picture about what is mobile repairing and what is exactly the types of mobile repairing. So don't worry at all, this is easy peasy section. It will give you that warm-up of boxing game, so you will be able to go inside the boxing game without any kind of any worries. So before any section, I will tell you tips and tricks of how to get the best of this section. So the tips and tricks of this section is just understand what is going on. I just need you to use your brain, and this is all what I want you to do, and this is how you can get the best from this section. See you inside. Guys, today we are going to talk about mobile devices. So our lesson goal today is the concept of mobile repairing. We are going to understand everything about mobile repairing in this episode. So phone consists of a frame and battery and board and LCD. Okay, types of repairing: we will repair a hardware board, glasswork, LCD, and software. In this course, we are going to speak about hardware, but a complete hardware course. Okay, we are going to cover everything related to board. Okay, there is another course about the LCD and another course about software also on our website spu.academy. Okay, types of hardware repairing. Firstly, most of people doing something like they just replace the component, okay? They don't repair it. Like there's something happening in the connector itself, I don't care. I will just take the connector, throw it away in the rubbish, then I will add a new one and everything is gonna be fine, okay? This is how exactly the big companies policy are doing. They just replace, they don't repair. Apple are doing this, Huawei are doing this, Samsung are doing this, every single big company are doing this. Okay, sounds great. So if you finish section 3 in this course, you will be able to work in any company. Okay, you will be able to work in any company. You don't need a diploma at all. This is the only job that you can work without a diploma. Okay, sounds well. You can only work with our certificate that you are going to take after this course. So it sounds great, guys. This is the best in this job. Okay, the second part is replace and repair, which you are going to see exactly when you work in a store or shop. Okay, they may replace, they may repair. Okay, they are a mix between here and here. Okay, the last type, they are remanufactured the destroyed component exactly as we do in China. In China, we don't throw any kind of destroyed component. We just making a remanufacture to it. Okay, and we can even create a new circuit on board itself. Like we don't care at all. And this is why China is the best in this field. But don't worry, guys, we are going to speak about all of this inside our course. You will be like a master in hardware after this course. So we didn't speak about phone frame. What is phone frame exactly? Phone frame is the outer of the phone itself, as a home button, okay, a power button here, or maybe it's a Siri button, okay, maybe it's a up and down volume. So if there is any kind of issue inside all of this, you are going to change the whole frame. Okay, sounds well. You are going to change the whole frame. There is nothing here you can do. Just 1 + 1 = 2. There is someone come to your store or in your company or whatever. You are going to tell him, dude, you need to change the whole frame. Sounds great. So easy, guys. And I hope that you get a lot of issue that's like this, because a kiddo can solve this problem. So, phone board. Phone board, there are two types of phone board. Android and iPhone. We are going to speak about both of them. Okay, this course is about both of them, Android and iPhone. We are not going to speak about iPhone only or Android only. I have worked like 10 years in this field. 7 years I have working in Apple, and 3 years I worked in Samsung, so I can give you my whole experience on both of them. Phone board. As I told you, started from this episode, you are going to take information. So what is this phone board? I don't understand what is this phone board. What is this? I will tell you. Imagine that this phone board is just exactly like a human body. Okay, a human body, there is a blood is going inside your body, which is going from heart to all the component inside your body, exactly, which is going from your heart to all body parts, which is exactly the same happening here. There is a volt here, which is going to here, which is going to here, until it reaches to the IC power, which power on the phone. So it's all about volt. Volt is going inside it. Okay, sounds well, sounds super well, sounds super well. So what is this small component? A small component is like a capacitor, okay, is like a coil, is like a resistor. They are all like, there is a capacitor here, there is a coil here, there is a resistor here, and this is the IC. There is a volt is going here, volt is going here, volt is going here, and this volt is just reached to the IC itself, which power on the phone. All of this is called a circuit. Okay, it's called a circuit, a power circuit, a charging circuit, camera, Wi-Fi, audio. So circuit is consists of a small components. There is something so weird when I went to America, and when I went to America, they teach people how to do the micro soldering or how to do phone repairing in a completely wrong way. How? Because they go exactly to teach people about circuit, a power circuit, charging circuit, how to deal with whatever. But they don't ever tell people what is the small component, what is the capacitor, what is the coil, what is the resistor. So they don't even understand what is going on. So they will be so bad in troubleshooting. Okay, they are just working like a computers. 1 + 1 = 2. That's why, as I told you, China are the best in this, because once you've got inside any kind of Chinese place to learn the hardware, they will start to teach you the basics of electronics. What is capacitors, what is coils, what is resistor, what is they lock on board, how to determine this by your eyes. Once I hold the board inside my hand, I can tell you where is the capacitor exactly, where is the resistor, and what the capacitor is doing, what is the resistor doing, what is the diodes are doing. And this is exactly how to master the hardware job. And this is what we are going to do in this course. I am going to tell you exactly what is the function of small components. Then after that, we are going to move directly to the circuit in order to be master in the troubleshooting itself. So what is the series and parallel? Okay, series and parallel, exactly, I'm gonna tell you so simple right now. I'm not going to make it complicated from this first episode. I want it to be simple as I can. So the series route is, the route is just going from a component to component to component until it reaches to the IC itself. Like there is a capacitor here, there is a resistor here, there is a coil here. Okay, sounds great. But what is the parallel? The parallel you will always see like this. Something not on the route itself. It is not in the route. But what is the main purpose of this? What is the main purpose of this? It's used to just get rid of high voltage. Like I just need 3 volt on this. Okay, I just need here to reach 3 volt. I need 3 volt here. What if you used a bad charger or something happened, so there's 5 volt came here? What will happen? 3 volt will go and 2 volt will go in the ground, so you protected the IC and the circuit itself. This is the difference between a series and parallel. This is called parallel and this is called series. And we will understand what is going on with series and parallel when we go in the section of small components or in the section of electronics. Pro note, I need you guys to just listen to this note, because this note is like a gold here. Mastering the way of how troubleshoot and determine the issue is like a 90% of that work. And this is for sure, this is my experience, guys. This is my experience here. That's why Chinese people are so clever in that job. Most of countries that I have visited think that this job is depending on hot air and soldering to the most, as I saw in the United States. Okay, as I saw in the United States. But the reality is that job is depending on the multimeter and power supply like a 90%. How? Because they made someone who's working on the wrong solution for about 72 hours, and he's keep going until he gave up because he didn't make a troubleshoot in the right way. Because he didn't make a troubleshooting in the right way. That's why troubleshooting and knowing about electronics is must. Thank you for watching this. See you in the next episode. How to disassemble any kind of any phone? Just go to Google and write iPhone 6 Plus service manual. You will find to each type of each phone this service manual PDF, which will tell you exactly how to work directly to disassemble any kind of any phone step by step by photos. As you can see here, all types of mobile phones has this PDF. Okay, so it will be so easy as you can see here. Okay, just type on Google and you will find this disassemble processes. Every single phone has this service manual, and this is exactly how we are working inside Apple. So firstly, we write in Google S10 Plus teardown or S10 Plus disassemble, okay, or S10 Plus manual repair PDF, as we have said in the previous lecture. Okay, then we go to any website, whatever we want. I will go to this website. This phone, by the way, is one of the hardest phone to tear down because it's like a built-in battery, so it's kind of hard one. So first step, we need to take the trim. As you can see, we are gonna follow all these steps. So first step, we are gonna take the seam out of the phone itself. So it's so easy to do. Let's do it. I will show you step by step. This is what we are gonna use to in order to take the seam out of the phone itself. Just insert this here. As you can see, we just remove it. So our first step is done. Second step, we are gonna use the hot gun, which is here, and this opening tool, which is here. As you can see here, he's gonna show you everything. And as you can see, guys, here the target of heating is on the back, not on the front. We are on the front here. No, it's on the back here. Okay, on the back. So we are gonna make a low heat on the heat gun itself. Just go like this. Don't stop like this. No, we are moving. You must move. As you can see, guys, so easy to open. We opened it. As you can see, just using this and the heat gun. So there is something we have said in the LCD courses, LCD screen repair course, that we have to clean this OCA before doing anything, because in order when we get this cover back, it will be so clean. And right now the phone is hot, so we can remove this so easily. I will show you how to do this, but we showed you how to do this in LCD course in deep details, so I'm not gonna go in details here. I will just make it in front of your eyes here. This is the device in LCD tools, LCD screen course tools. I spoke about this in details. Add some heat here in order to remove it easily. This is just for cleaning purpose, guys. Just for cleaning. I need to remove this black adhesive. So this is just for cleaning purpose. As you can see, just click here on this. Make this circular move, and we are going to remove this black adhesive. So a lot of black adhesive, guys. So we don't add a lot of like adhesive like this. All of this I have explained in LCD course in details, so we are not going to explain it here. Okay, we are just removing the black adhesive here. Okay, after cleaning a phone, let's see the step 3, which is removing all this kind of screws here, which we can see here. Okay, with 1.5, let's see, 1.5 screwdriver here. We already have this here, so we are gonna match it as they say, PH30, which is here, the first one here, PH30. Okay, make sure you have take down all the screws here. Okay, I see that this one is, those two are taller than this one. So what I do here directly, I remember where exactly I have removed this one from here. So I take it away from those. So I take it away. I just put it here. So I remember this is in the bottom down. I'll just leave it here alone. Because so make sure you have removed all the screws from here. I can see a one here which is hidden. Okay, so make sure we removed everything. Oh, I will check that I have removed everything. Yes, everything removed. So I will use this one to remove it, to remove this black. As you can see, guys, we go under from here by this way, so we can remove it using this, going under here, so we remove it easily. So easy. Now we have successfully disassembled this phone. This is all what we need, guys. Just follow the steps and use the heat gun carefully, and make sure that you have removed all the screws. Okay, and this is how we do the disassemble process. It's a piece of cake, and there's not a big deal here, guys. So easy, so easy, so easy. Welcome in micro soldering for beginner section, and this section is gonna prepare you for the advanced level. And also I have happy news for ya. If you understand this section like 100%, you will be able to work in any store anywhere in the world. Why? Because this is the basics. If you have the basics, you can work anywhere. So after finishing this section, you will be able to work in any store, whatever you want. How to get the best of this section? It is so easy, guys. Just watch the video like 3 times. Okay, the first time will be just for knowing what's going on here, and just knowing about the basics, the temperature, and what is going on or whatever. Okay, it's so easy. Just watching for the first time. Second time will be with pen and paper, and the last time will be you are going to be like, you are the one who is working with your hand, not me. Okay, you are acting, you are the one, you like right now this dude is gonna make the temperature on whatever. Okay, so this is how you are gonna study this section. Just watch the videos like 3 times. Okay, this is how we are going to get the best of this section. See you. So firstly, let's start our lesson with the basics of micro soldering, which is the hot air. The temperature of hot air always between 360 and 400, but I always like to make it 360 whatever what I'm doing. Okay, but it depends on the component itself. Like this components, big components, we can go for 360, 380. Like this one is bigger component. Like this one is a big component, and this IC, and this, and then this coil also. All of these things are big, so we need this one. Okay, we need this big one. But what if we are working on the capacitors, a small component just like this? So we are going to use the small one. So the basics is go for 360, which I like to the most. I like to use 360, and the air from 4 to 5. Okay, and it depends on your hot air. You always need to try. Okay, just try to buy like a lot of board and try to practice on this board.
okay? So let me also tell you something before we begin in our micro soldering systematic, that this is an Android board and this is an iPhone board. They are completely the same. The processes of micro soldering that we are going to do in the Android, we are going to make it in the iPhone. It is completely the same. There is nothing you can worry about, okay? So we are going to make a system for micro soldering, desoldering, and soldering. So let's start directly with the desoldering. All the component processes of desoldering, they are completely the same. Whatever is iPhone or Android, we are going to do a systematic, a CPU systematic. So let's begin. Firstly, or our first step is to apply some flux on the component that we are going to desolder, okay? But just remember, we are going to apply this flux on the corner. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called the corner fixer or the leg of the component, okay? The leg of the component. But what if you are going to remove this IC, we are going to apply this flux on the IC. If we are going to remove this coil, we are going to apply the flux on the coil itself. So first step is to apply flux. Let's apply some flux, and don't forget to apply some flux on the leg here. So first step, apply some flux on the component itself, okay? This is our first step. The second one is to set the hot air itself on 360 and the air on 4, okay? 360 and 4, and let's move directly on a circular way. Done. Just like 1 second. We just make a desolder in 1 second. After that, doing the processes. Okay, this is our first step. While the second one is using the hot air. So the first step, applying some flux. The second step, setting the hot air on 360 and the air on 4, and just going in a circular way, okay? And try to be faster, and just hold the tweezer in your left hand in order, when you feel like it's done, just take it. But don't take it hardly, in case if you forgot, like just one leg here didn't make the solder yet, just make the hot air on it and take it, okay? This is the desolder system. So let's go directly to see what we are going to do in the soldering way with the hot air, okay? There is 2 soldering. The first one, we can do it with the hot air, which I recommend for every beginner to use the hot air, while the second one is to use the soldering iron, which we are going to see also in this micro soldering course. So let's see the first step. Okay, the first step in soldering is to clean this tin, okay? Can you see this tin? We need to clean it, but in case if you see it shiny just like this, you don't need to clean. Just add some flux on it and just move with the soldering iron on it. But I just want to clean it in front of you to know how to clean the tin, okay? This is called the shield. We are going to use the shield and the soldering iron. It's so easy, guys. Or just setting the temperature on 360 also. See how easy it is? Super easy. Just taking this on the tip of soldering iron and just moving on the tin itself to clean it. But it will be better to use the knife one to clean, but I can clean with the bent one, so it's okay. This is better for soldering, okay? This one is better for soldering, but the knife one is better for cleaning, okay? Just remember this. Okay, after cleaning the tin, we need to re-tin again the bends. Step, firstly, we need to make the tip of the tin with tin, okay, soldering tin, in order to make it easier, while taking some from this and started to make this shiny, okay? This is how we are going to do in order to make it easier. So I'm gonna show you right now a step which nobody is doing. Okay, it's an optional. If you want to do it, it's okay. If you don't want to do it, it's also okay. But it will help you to make it super fast in soldering way, which is vaporize the board, vaporize the place where you are going to make the soldering way. It will make you do this like in 1 second. You are gonna see. Okay, we are doing vaporization to board right now to make it easier while doing the soldering processes. Okay, it's fine now. Let's do the soldering board. Applying some flux before we go. So the first step is to clean the tin, while the second step is to re-tin again the bends with the soldering. Then the third step is to vaporize the board, while the first step is going to be added in some flux here to make it easier for us. There are some people who add a soldering tin instead of flux, but I like to use in this video a flux, and I'm gonna show you in another video using the soldering tin, but it is the same, okay? They are already the same. But I like to do this in order to, because this is more shaper and it's gonna be better on you. Okay, let's move directly to add the piece itself and make sure that the legs are completely. Let's go. Moving circular again. Try to be faster and use the tweezer to fix. Okay. Can you see it? Just a little, just a second. It's done now. Just a bit of second. It's completely fixed. Just 1 second. Because we used this trick, the trick of vaporization board, it's completely done. And after finished, we just are going to clean the board by alcohol and the brush. Okay, don't forget the cleaning processes. And this is how we do the soldering processes with the hot air. Let's move directly to make it. Okay, this time we are going to use the soldering iron. Let's see how directly we use the soldering iron in order to fix this. I'm gonna show you my way, my CPU Academy way that I'm always use. Just see this soldering best, instead of editing the flux, in this time we are going to add the soldering best, but watch how, because we need to use a little bit of amount. It's gonna help us in these processes, okay? Just use a little bit, don't add too much. See guys, just a little bit. We're not gonna go so deep. After that we are going to do the vaporization way again. Okay, and remember that the vaporization way is helping us to go. So important guys, this. Nobody is doing that, okay? I think it's first time to you to see someone is doing the vaporization to board before doing the micro soldering. Okay, after applying some tin, solder tin, and after applying some solder tin, which is our first step, then we are doing a vaporization to board. After vaporization board, just take this connector from here. We need to fix it. And just this is for professionals. I don't recommend you as a beginner to do this. It's gonna be safer. It's safer than the hot air, okay, but slower. You're going to do this. We need to do a lot of devices per day, So hot air is just a little bit of second. You're going to do this in a second. Okay, it's also fast for people who are professionals, but I prefer to use as a beginner hot air. Okay, but it's gonna be more stronger than the hot air itself. Let me tell you the truth, it's stronger. But don't forget the data. Don't forget the data. And we have right now a very strong fixing. Super strong fixing. What if you see some tin here, like an extra tin? Just take this shield, okay, and take out this extra tin. If you see some extra tin, it's so easy. We are super ready now. As I told you, just use the hot air in your beginning, it will be more better. Okay, this is how we do the soldering way with the soldering iron. And don't forget to clean, always clean. Before you finish, clean, and before you start, clean, always clean, okay? Because the one who clean the board is the one who we call professional one. Always clean, just use alcohol. This is called the 95% of alcohol. And we are going to use the brush in doing, and we are going to use the brush to make it cleaner. Look at this, guys, super shiny and great and so strong, super strong. And this is how we do the soldering wear. Also the soldering iron, we use a 360, don't forget that. Okay, 360 is my number, I use it every single wear. Lesson is gonna be like a little bit different. Nobody has spoken about this before, but I have faced this problem once I got started in this work. What about these tools? I don't have money to afford all of these tools. This is so hard on me. Start small, it's okay. In case if you just have this hot air and just have the soldering iron itself, it would be so easy. Just to start small, start to make money. Once you start to make money, just save those money and buy more and more tool. So you need to start small. Put this in your mind. You don't have to start big. Don't start so big. There's a big difference between a knowledge and tools. Okay, knowledge here I just mean about the hardware and software and LCD. Those are must. You cannot escape anyone from this. Okay, you need to understand all of them. Once you know all of this, okay, you need to go here. You can go here small, and once you increase more and more knowledge, you can increase here more and more tools. And this is how we make money in this job. We make money by increasing our knowledge. I am someone who know about software, so I will increase my money. I am someone who know about LCD repairing. I will increase my money. I know how to deal with dead phones. I will increase my money. I'm not someone who's scared to work in an iPhone 13 mobile phone. Okay, I will increase my money. So it's all about knowledge. It's not about tools and money. Okay, if you don't have money, it's fine. Just get the knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, you will have the money. It's okay, don't worry at all. So this is our mental lesson for today. See you in next section.
Why do we change battery? So firstly, and the most common issue you're gonna find in battery changing, which is the battery drain. Okay, the battery is draining so fast, so change the battery, and this is a common issue. A charging issue, it's like the phone takes like too long to get in a fully charged. Like the phone takes like 7 hours to get fully charging, and this is a battery issue. And we are gonna speak about the charging, all the charging issues in deep details in a charging circuit. Phone temperature, the phone getting so heat, okay, and this is like a 70 or 60%. It's because of the battery itself. So this is so easy, it doesn't need any kind of troubleshooting at all. And we know exactly that the first thing that we are gonna work on is the battery itself to see all of these issues. Okay, so this is so easy. Let's go with the troubleshooting part, which is the boot issue. Sometimes the phone is dead, okay, and you are trying to power on or to boot the phone itself. There is no booting at all. There is a black screen. So it may be because of those three. Like, first thing and the most, like, you have to work on this, the first one, because I know people are going to work on the battery and power circuit and all of this stuff, and they neglect the software. They will work like from 8 to 9 hours on this, and they are completely doing it wrong. Because in our course, I told you, always work from the small to big, to not waste your time. Okay, always work from the small to big. And the best thing about CBU Academy here, guys, that we teach you the market, we teach you the straight, we teach you how to work in a company. Okay, we didn't teach you like a university or school, something that you will never use in the real life. It is like a real work applies. So firstly, we are gonna work on the software itself. So I will tell you something I always do. Okay, I try to get the phone in the recovery mode or on download mode. In case if the phone get in recovery mode or download mode, so it's like 100% a software issue. And we have a complete course about software here on CBU Academy. Okay, and we spoke about all kind of boot issue inside this course which is related to software, so we are not going to speak about software now. So the second accuse, it will be because of the battery. But let me tell you something here so professional, okay, and this is my way in working, by the way. In case if you connected the phone to the charger and the phone is getting restarted on logo while it's charging, please be aware of what I'm saying right now. In case if the phone get restarted on the logo while it's charging, it's a battery issue. Okay, it's a battery issue like a 90%. Okay, I didn't click on the power button, it's making a boot by itself. Once I connected the phone with the charger, and it make restart on the logo, it doesn't, it refused to go, it refused to boot. So it's a battery issue. A power circuit, we are going to speak about this in circuit section in details. So let's assume the phone is restarting on the logo while charging, so we are gonna change the battery. So this is a boot issue. So all of this kind, guys, all of this is related to why do we change battery. So I need you to be focused here before we go to the applying part. There is a competitor to me, guys, here in China. Can you believe it? He's just working in battery changing. This is all what he do in the hardware repair. Okay, all he is doing here is just the battery changing inside his store, and this is like sounds, you can just study this section and you can just start the hardware repair just right now inside your store or whatever. And he is doing a lot of money from just changing the battery. He is doing a lot of money. Okay, and this is why, guys, I tell you that this work as a hardware repair or software repair or LCD screen repair, this world cell phone repair, is the easiest tech skill that you can make money from. Studying this section can make you a lot of money. Just this section can make you a lot of money. So this is not a big deal, guys. You can just start right now. You can start your store right now. You can just join a company right now. This is so easy, and you can do this. You can do this. And always remember, guys, it is not a big deal at all. This is the easiest tech skill ever.
So let's change this battery, guys. As you can see, let me show you, this is called a connector. We have to remove this connector. Here you are, this is called a connector. We have to remove this connector from the battery, and we are just going to take down the battery. But let me tell you something, guys. In case if this battery has adhesive under it and it is stick to the phone, we are gonna use, and this is an advanced tips and trick. This is an advanced tips and trick. We are gonna use this 530. It's called 530. We are going to use it just to spray under the battery and trying to go so easily. But let me tell you guys something. Make sure that you are not going to insert this inside the battery because it may explode. Okay, so watch out. Just use this and easy on the battery. Easy on the battery. It will take all the adhesive. So easy. And this is a pro tips and trick. I always do that. I use this. Okay, but not all phones we are going to do this, because there are phones that we don't need to do that as well as the phone that we have right now right here. So let's have our spare phone here. Let's take it out. This is the another phone that we are gonna take the battery from it. Okay, we are going to remove the battery from here and just, you can see, so easy. The battery is just like in 1 second. We didn't take a second to take it out. Okay, just take this battery because it's not working, and we are going to do the same here. Just removing this connector, taking the battery out, and just add it here. It's easy peasy. As you can see here, just there is adhesive here, but we don't need, this is the one that I talk about, but we don't need to use 530 because it's so easy, as you can see guys, so easy. In some case we need to use 530, okay, in some cases. And just add this battery here, and that's all. Just making sure that the connector is attached to the board, okay. And this is all what we need in order to change the battery. Welcome in electronics section. In this section, you will be able to understand what is going on in board, what is a small component and what are they do. And this section is gonna make you someone who's perfect than anyone else. In case if you go to work in Apple, Samsung, whatever, you will be higher than them because you understand exactly what is the capacitor do, what is the coil do, and what is the resistor do, and you will understand exactly how they shape on board. You are gonna understand everything. You will have like a step forward than anyone beside you. And this course is something special here in China. In China here, this section is must. You cannot go in mobile repairing field without this section. So this is a vital, and let me tell you something, if you understand this section like 100%, you will be able also to understand the LCD course which we will upload on our CPU Academy or here on Udemy. Also, this section will help you to repair any kind of any phone, whatever it's iPhone, it's Samsung, whatever, you will understand the basic guys. Also, electronics is something that will make you understand the circuit. We are going to prepare you here for circuit section. So we still doing the preparation level for just working on the circuit and for advanced micro soldering. So right now this is still our second preparation after micro soldering beginner, so let's go.
Give it directly and give it directly to the line, place that, and once it's empty the volt it recharges again, and mainly doing this beside IC power, touch, IC backlight or camera, which means right now this is my camera IC, okay. Let me show you how we are going to work on this. This is our camera IC, and let's draw it here, okay. There is a capacitor beside it, and this is the root itself that is coming from the charging processes or the circuit. This is the root is coming from IC charging, okay. IC charging is given this capacitor a volt on, and this is stored 3 volt, okay. When you going to open this camera, it will answer, it will tell the capacitor to give it the volt, and the camera will be opened. If there is something happen with this capacitor, camera will never be opened. Camera will never be opened. Why? Because this IC need a volt to be working. This IC of camera need a volt to be working. And this is the same exactly with the backlight. There is a capacitors to store, and also IC power. You will see a lot of capacitor around the IC power, and all of this to store volt. Once any kind of IC need this volt, the capacitor will directly give this. Okay, the secondary function is it stable and filter the volt in a charging circuit. In case if you use the bad quality of charger, it will carry AC and DC current. It will pass the DC current and it will filter out the AC. It will be destroyed, by the way. If you use the bad charger, it will destroy the capacitor itself because it will let the DC current to pass, and it will be destroyed with the AC current. So it's used to save the charging circuit, okay, from a bad charger. The capacitor will get destroyed, so it's protect the circuit. Okay, it's so easy. I think you are understand me like 100% now. So let's keep going. How a capacitor locks on board. It's always looking like this. It's always looking like this. You will see this yellow. It's all yellow. Yellow. All of these capacitors. Yellow capacitors, all of these capacitors. This is a resistor, okay. This is not capacitor. We are going to speak about this later on, okay. Let's make X on it. This is, you may see something like this capacitor in iPhone board, okay, and you may also see this capacitor on iPhone, okay, and you will see this on iPhone mainly and Android. So it's always looking like this, yellow. It's just yellow, looking like this. All of these are capacitors, okay? So easy, guys. It always signs C on the schematic itself, like you will see on the schematic, just like this. We are going to speak about signs on schematic and how it looks on schematic one by one before we speak on schematic directly in next section. Okay, so you are fully understand what a schematic is. So it's signed like C on the schematic itself. Okay, sounds great. As you can see here, it's a schematic here, always sign as C. Okay, and you will see it here. You will compare it here on the schematic and here on board. It's looking like this, and you will know the number of the capacitor itself in case you want to change it. So you add the number of capacitor, so you know the value of capacitor, and we will understand this in next. We will understand this later on. Okay, this is all capacitors. How to measure the capacitor? Let me tell you something. On board, this is a capacitor here. On board, in case if you got buzz on buzzer mode, this means that this capacitor is not working. Okay, sounds great? Yup, it sounds great. But let me tell you, let me give you a tip and tricks that I always do since I have worked in this job since 2006. I will give you something so important and so easy to do. Get your multimeter on a volt mode and you will measure, you will open the schematic here, and there is a capacitor here and there is a capacitor here, and you need to make sure that this capacitor is working. So easy, guys. Measure the volt here on voltage mode and measure the volt here. In case if there is something happen with this capacitor, it will never pass the volt to this one. Okay, this is easy to do, but the main and official way to measure the capacitor is by a buzzer mode. If it give buzz, it's not working. If it give buzz on a buzzer mode, it's not working. So we will never know the value of the capacitor itself on the board. We need to take it out of board. Even if it give buzz, we will not know that this capacitor is working or not, because on series you will take the measure of all the circuit. So if there is a short here on this capacitor, you will see here also buzzer mode, and you will get the buzzer mode here also. So you will never know the volt, you will never know the measure value of the capacitor itself. So if you are not sure that this capacitor is working, just take it out of board by doing a soldering, by doing a desoldering to it, and just measure it out of board. To know the value, it will give one side will give value and the other side will give 0 OL. If it give buzzer outside of board, it's also not working. Okay, on the battery line, it should give the same voltage value of line as I told you here. Okay, note, if C is shorted, you will see the short in whole line as I told you here. So to know which one has the short, you must do a shorted processes that we will do in the practicing lecture. Okay, we are not going to do it. We're not gonna do it here. Okay, sounds great. What will happen if the capacitor not working? In touch will not work at all. In backlight, unstable screen when you bright up the light. In a charging light, it may destroy the IC charge if you use non-original charger. Okay, sounds great. In network, a problem in signal. In battery, a very high usage. Okay, sounds great. Important, when you're gonna work to replace the capacitor from other board or in a place that have a lot of capacitors, you must make sure that they are same in farad or picofarad and same volt space, which means I am going to replace this capacitor C401. Okay, so this capacitor, I'm going to search on the schematic. I will see that the value of this capacitor, it can store up to 3 volt and it's measured in picofarad, whatever PF. So when you are going to replace it, you must get the same one, okay? The same one that can store 3 volt and have the same picofarad. You are a hero, guys. You are a hero. Keep going. We just finished this lecture. In this lesson, we are going to speak about capacitors. Okay, so our goal in this lesson is just to master how to find the capacitor on board and how to measure a good capacitor from a bad capacitor by using the multimeter. So, firstly, let me show you something, guys, that this is an Android board that you see right now. This is an Android board, okay? But this is also an iPhone board. They are the same. Look at this. The capacitors and file and coil
resistor, everything is the same here. This is like this, okay? There is no problem at all. And iPhone 14 is just like iPhone 4, okay? This is an information for you. iPhone 14 board is just looking like iPhone 4, but it will differ in circuit that we are going to talk about in next section. We're gonna talk about circuits in next section, but this section is gonna be simple and easy, and don't worry at all. Don't worry at all, okay? So firstly, let's check where is capacitor here. Just by first look, it's looking like yellow color, just like this. If you see here, yellow color, this is a capacitor, and this is a capacitor, this is a capacitor, okay? Yellow color and big in shape. This is a capacitor here. Let me get the board so you can see. This is a capacitor, okay? Just by first look, you can get the capacitor. It seems yellow. This is a capacitor. This is a capacitor. This is a capacitor. Just try to pause a video right now, okay? Try to pause a video and try to find the capacitor by your eyes. Exactly as you are working inside right now with me, like we are working together now. Try to pause the video and find out where is the capacitor by yourself. It's so easy. I will move the board and step by step so we can determine where is the capacitor exactly. So let's start. Okay, I can see two capacitors here beside a coil. Let me help you. Okay, I think you got it. Two big capacitor here. Okay, this is a coil. We're not gonna speak about coil. Okay, I can see a capacitor here, but I'm not gonna point for you. You will see by yourself. Okay, a lot of capacitors here I can see, but I'm not gonna point for you. There is two small capacitor over here. I think you can see him. Here, two small capacitor, yellow. Okay, capacitor are looking like the same. And coil also. This is a coil, but we're not gonna speak about coil. It's big like unsettable body. Okay. This is a resistor. We're not gonna speak about resistors. Just let's speak about capacitors only. Okay, I can see capacitors here. I can see capacitors here. This is a capacitor. Okay, this is a very small capacitor. Okay, wow, I can see also capacitor here. Okay, this is all the capacitors here. I think you can see. And right now you can determine the capacitor, how it looks. Let's see the capacitor on the iPhone board. It's so easy too. Okay, this is a capacitor here, but it's not like so yellow, but you know, I know that you got it. This is a capacitor. Okay, I think you can see the capacitor. There are three capacitors. Okay. Over here, this is a capacitor. Capacitor. Okay, this is iPhone board. Exactly the same. Okay, this is exactly the same as Android. It's yellow. Here, this capacitor exactly as same as Android itself. So, firstly, we know now right now how to determine the capacitor on board, or how to find the capacitor on board. So let's see how to measure the capacitor itself. It's so easy, guys. We're just not gonna talk. We're just gonna take like a minute in understand how to measure the capacitor. And this is a diode, by the way. I think you can see it, but we're not gonna speak about diode. Okay. Firstly, to measure a capacitor, we need to get a buzz mode on multimeter. Can you see, guys, this? Okay, we're just gonna select. See, this is a buzz mode, like a sound mode. There is a sound here. You can see on the multimeter, it's the same sign as this one and this one. And to make sure that you are correctly in the buzz mode, you need to test it. Can you hear the beep? Okay, we are correctly on the buzz mode. Okay, in case, just let's start measuring. Okay. Let's get something big. Okay, this is one is big. Okay, we're just putting the multimeter on the sides of the capacitor itself. It's so easy, guys. We put the multimeter probe on the side of capacitor itself. We get 0 OL. 0 OL means it's working, okay? 0 OL means it's working, or it's called infinity, okay? It's called infinity. But what if we make the red one and the black one the opposite direction? Let's see what will happen. If we also, if it's 0, just like this, we are standing in the negative way. Okay, still 0, which means it's working. So no value in both sides, it means it's working. If we get a buzz or value in both direction, it means it's not working, okay? So 0 OL in both sides, it means it's working, it's super working, okay? But if we get a buzzer, it means it's not working. Let's see another one. Let's see another one. Okay. Let's test this one. 0 OL, it means it's working. Okay, let's opposite the probe. Still 0 OL, which means working. Okay, this one is so big, let's test it. 0 AL, which means it's working fine. 0 OL, working fine. Let's opposite the probe. Still 0 OL, which means working fine. But let me show you something. If it has short to the ground, 0 L in both value, which means it's working well. But if it has short to the ground, let me make it like a short here. If there is a short like this is not working capacitor, it's shorted to the ground. Can you hear the buzzer itself? There is a value on buzzer, which means this capacitor is not working at all. And this is how we discover the capacitor is not working or not working. So again, let's recap to finish this lesson. We make a buzzer mode to the capacitor. If we got 0 OL on both sides, it means it's working probably. If there is no buzz, it's working probably. If we get a buzzer or a buzz, it means it's shorted to the ground, so this capacitor is not working at all. But do not say that this capacitor is the reason of the short itself. You need to take the capacitor out of the board and to measure it, okay, by desoldering way. We take this capacitor by desoldering way out of board and start measuring it out, because sometimes if you find a short in line, this is maybe not the reason of the short itself, because you can take the read of all line only by measuring the buzzer mode on the capacitor itself. Okay, so we are going to know this in details in troubleshoot mode, but this is how we completely measure the capacitor. By buzz mode, 0 OL in both value, it's working probably. If we get buzz, it's not working at all. And this is our first lesson.
What's up, guys? In this episode, we are going to speak about coil or inductor. What can it do? It is so easy. We use this coil is to boost the voltage from battery from 4.2 up to 30 volt. Okay, sounds well? Sounds super well. Especially in the backlight circuit, failure of coil can lead to no backlight issue, and this is the most probably issue that you are going to see from the coil itself. Someone is going to come to your store and he will tell you, hey dude, I don't see, there is no light on the screen itself, but I can hear voices. There is something happened to the screen. What the hell happened? You are going to tell him that the coil is, you are going to take the phone and you will check the coil itself, and you will see that the coil is not working, and this is the most common issue you will see from this coil. The secondary function of the coil in network section, it's used in electronic filters to separate different electronic signals, which means that this coil can make a switch between 4G and 5G and 3G. So if someone told you there is a problem in 3G, I cannot work with the 4G or 5G, it's a coil problem, or also it may make a weak signal in whatever 5G or 4G or 3G. So this is exactly what we can do with the coil itself. How the coil looking board? It's looking like unstable, big black, like this one, unstable. But this is a resistor. This is looking like this is black also, but this is so black as you can see here. And this is looking like the capacitor. It's looking like the capacitor, a stable body. But this body is not as stable as you can see here. This is not a stable body. As you can see here, this is non-stable body. This is non-stable body. All of this are coil. Okay. It always sign L. It always sign L. You will see it like this on the schematic. Okay. Okay, we can find it as L here. As you can see, it's a coil here. Coil here. How to measure coil? Just use the multimeter and continue. But here is, unlike the capacitor, you will always get a buzzer here. Okay, in case if you didn't get a buzzer here, it means that this coil is not working at all. Why? Because a coil consists of a wire. There is a wire inside it. Okay, so you must get a buzzer here, and buzzer here, which means that the coil inside is working probably. So you should get a buzzer. Okay, out of board to know the value of L. If you take it out of board to measure it, okay, one side will give value on diode. It's cool. It's super cool. You will get value on diode in case if you are going to measure it out of volt. On board, the right way is to measure the component before it and after it. Exactly on diode mode. Exactly as we did in the capacitor. But this way, we are going to make it on diode mode, not on volt mode. Which means there is a capacitor here. There is a coil here. There is a capacitor here. We are going to measure a diode mode here and a diode mode here. Okay, this is exactly as a capacitor, but instead of volt, we will get a diode. Okay, sounds well? Sounds well. You can do a bridge for small coils only if there's something's not working with this coil. If it is small, so small, we can take it out of board and we can make a bridge here and it will work probably. If it's big, then you need to replace it. And I always, whatever it's big or small, I just replace it. I don't like to make a bridge at all. What will happen if coil is not working in touch? Touch won't work at all, and this is the most common issue you will see. Also in backlight, there is no backlight, there is no light on the screen. In a charging problem, conversion current from route A to route B on board. This is only on iPhone. Okay, it may not charge on iPhone because there is two zones in iPhone in a charging circuit, zone A and zone B. This is on board, and this coil will transfer the volt from here to here. Okay, in network problem, in 3G, 4G, 5G, as we said. Important note, when we are going to replace the coil from other board, you must make sure that they are the same in value exactly as capacitor. Wow, I'm proud of you, dude. We have just finished this lecture, so keep going. I'm so proud of you. See you in the next lecture.
Okay, let's go for the coil on board. Let's know how the coil looks on board. It's looking unsettable body with a black like this. Okay, unsettable body at all. This one is coil. Coil. This one is coil. This one is coil, unsettable body, black and unsettable body. This one is coil, okay, black and unsettable body. This one is coil. Okay, this one is coil. It looks the same in iPhone also. This one is coil. I think you can see it. This one is coil. Okay. black and unstable body. I'm gonna move the board for you and try. Yeah, I see a coil here. Try to boost. I see about 5 coils here. Try to boost for like a minute, okay, and determine all the coil where it founds, and determine all the coil, the location of all coil. Then play the video again, and I will show you all the location here. It's super clear. Okay, this is a coil. Okay, this is a coil. 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 I think you know now. Okay, this is a coil. This is a coil. Super easy, guys. How to measure a coil? How to measure a coil? How to measure a coil? Coil should buzz, okay, and give you a value directly. Let's see. Working boy. It should give you a value and do a buzzer together, okay? Value and buzzer. It's working. Value and buzzer. Let's see another one. Okay, let's measure this coil. It's looking like a big coil. It's working fine. Okay, you see buzzer and value. Buzzer and value, it's working fine. If you didn't see the buzzer in value, which means it's a destroyable coil, okay? Just you are going to get a buzzer and value, okay? Buzzer and value. Super easy. It's working. Let's see someone. Let's test it on iPhone board. Remember, buzzer and value is working. This one, I can see it here. Buzzer and value. Okay, buzzer and value. Buzzer and value. Working fine. Okay, so the way, let's recap quickly. Coil is give buzzer and value is working great. Okay, if the coil doesn't give buzzer or value, it means that this coil is not working. This is how to measure a coil and how to determine this coil on board.
What's up, guys? In this episode we are going to speak about diode. What can it do? The main function of diode is to pass the current in one direction only and not get it back. Like, I just want the volt to go in this direction. I don't want it to get back in order it may destroy this component or whatever, because in this way the current may only can carry 3 volt, but if it back again, this can only carry 1 volt, so it may destroy the circuit here. So the main function of this diode is just to pass the current in one direction only. The secondary function of this is used to detect the cell phone signal, as they have a unique property of being able to receive. So it's used in network, okay? It's used in network, this second function, okay? And it's so easy to understand here. So let's see how it looks in board. It looks in board just like this, okay? Is so here a black one, okay, and those two sides are so real here. We are going to see it on board just like this here, and also it's not looking here, okay? And this is a capacitor, and this is a coil, unstable body, as we can see here, okay? On a schematic, it's always D or V or ZDD for Zener diode. Okay, we can find it by find DZ in Zener Z or ZD, D or DZ. Okay, ZD Zener diode is same exactly as diode. Okay, they are pos. U is IC, R is a resistor, C is a capacitor, and remember, coil is L. Okay, how to measure it is so easy. On board, the value inside will be 0.1, okay, and the other side, okay, on board it will be value on side and the other side will be 0.1 or zero point 0.1. Okay, out of board to know the real value. Okay, and all of this in diode mode, which means this area here it will be has value, and this area here will be infinite. Okay, 0.1 or infinite. Out of board to know the real value. Out of board it will give you the value of this diode mode on diode mode. Okay, whatever, it's 0.35 or 350 or whatever. Okay, non-worked diode will give a value on both sides. Both side here will be value here or value here, or infinite in both side. Okay, non-worked diode infinite on both side or value on both side. You cannot do bridge in case of failure, just replace it. In case if you find this diode has failure, just replace it. Okay, what will happen if diode not working? Okay, if it on series, it will cut the whole line because electricity won't be able to pass. Okay, if it on series, like there is a capacitor, diode, okay, coil, okay, if there is something happen here, so it will happen like a cut in line here, so the volt will not be able to go here. Okay, if it's on battery, it will cause a short to the ground. Okay, and its main function is to protect and support the ICs, so doing a bridge here will lead us to lose the protection. When you are going to replace the diode from other board, watch out because there are 3 types of diodes. You must pick the same one as that you will replace. It may be diode, Zener diode, or relay diode. We just one step away of last lesson in this section. Well done, dude. We are just one step away of last lesson in this section. See you in next lecture.
Okay, let's speak about diode. This is a diode, guys. It looks like a black, and the 2 bolts, you can see it directly in a good way. So there is no lots diode on board, so it will not be easy to find diode here, but it's okay. This is a diode, black one, and 2 bolts beside. Let's see a very big diode so you can be able to determine that. Yeah, this is exactly how the diode looks on Android or iPhone. It looks like this. Okay, so let's know how to measure diode. Measuring diode is so easy. Okay, measuring diode is so easy. How to know? Firstly, we need to get the diode mode. Let's see this. This is a sign of diode mode. Just select, select, select. This is a buzzer mode. We don't need a buzzer mode. Yup, this is a diode mode. So the working diode is we get a value from an area, and another one will be infinite, like 0 OL or high value. It means it's completely working. Okay, value from here, and here high value or infinite, 0 OL. Okay, it means it's working well. But if we get 0 OL on both sides, it means it's not working. Okay, 0 OL in both sides, it means it's not working. Okay, high value on both sides, it means it's not working. Okay, so the working value, always the working one, you take a value on side and infinite in the another side. Let's see. Okay, here you see, guys, we can see a value here. Okay, it's a small value. 600 is a small value, which means this is a value. When we opposite the probe, we will get infinite in the another part. Okay, infinite or a big value. So let's test it. Okay, it's a very big value, which means it's working great. So this is how a diode looks on board. A black, and there's a lines on it, which means the positive board. Okay, and 2 bolts, 1 and 2. This is how a diode looks. Okay, the Zener diode is looking like this, but there is another ball. How to measure the diode? We get into the diode mode, which is, we can see here the diode mode. Okay, and we got a value from this part, or a value from this part, and the other part we will get 0 OL or high value, which means it's completely working. But if we give value on both sides, it means it's not working. If we get infinite in both sides, it means it's not working. So we only need a value from a side and infinite from the other.
The resistor. What's up, guys? This is the last episode in this section. We are going to speak about the resistor. Okay, the main function of resistor is to decrease a voltage en route. Okay, it may decreasing the volt in root. Connect the root together as a bridge with a constant volt. Gate with the ground with the transistor. Okay, boost up the volt between two parallel roots. Okay, it's so easy to understand. We are not going to clarify what is going on because you now understand everything here. Okay, the secondary function feels the heat and send a warning to CPU that you will send notification that your phone is heating up. And we can see this issue with a phone. Someone will tell you, hey, when I put my phone inside the charger, it tell me that the temperature is too high. When you find this issue, okay, you exactly go to work on the you will exactly go to work on the heat resistor. Okay, you will work on heat resistor. You will change it and it will work probably. Okay, and we can see this in battery, in camera, in it charging. It also may happen when someone open the camera, it will tell him temperature is so high we cannot open a camera for you. By this way you will exchange the resistor of camera, the heat resistor of camera. Okay, charging, heat resistor in a charging circuit, heat resistor in camera circuit, heat resistor in battery circuit. How resistor look on board? It's looking like the coil but it's stable. You can see it's black and small, looking like the coil but it's stable. It's like a capacitor but so black, so blacky, as you can see here. All of these are resistors. Okay, otherwise the coil, you will know the coil by yourself. It is so easy. It's always signed as R. It's always signed as R. Okay, as you can see, it's what is this, guys? I think you will know by yourself. It is Q. What is Q? It's a MOSFET or transistor, a group of diode inside, and there is a resistor also. This is how it looks on board. Resistor, resistor. It's a black resistor. Okay, resistor. It's a black in color. Okay, this is a coil. You can see it here. Unstable. The body of the coil unstable, but this is so stable, like it's a straight body. Okay. How to measure resistor? Just use the multimeter on continuity mode, the buzzer mode. Okay. On board, it will give you a buzzer, just like the capacitor. Okay. If you hear a buzzer while measuring this, it means that this resistor is not working at all. And on board you can test it on board without remove it. It must be barrier only. Okay, this is fine. You can know the value of resistor without removing it by resistor mode on the multimeter. Every multimeter right now has a resistor mode, and you can see the value on the schematic of this resistor, and it will you that if this resistor is working or not. But as I tell you, if you get a buzz on the resistor, it means that this resistor is not working. You can't measure R on series on board. If it on series, you cannot measure it. If it on battery, you can measure it. Okay, so if it on series, you can take it out of board and measure it, as I told you. Okay, it's fine. Non-worked R will give infinity, no buzz, no value. Non-worked R, you will see infinity, no buzz, no value. Okay. If it in series, it will cut the whole line because the electricity won't be able as exactly the diode. If it in parallel, it will cause short to ground, or if it will destroy the MOSFET itself because it is inside MOSFET, as we know, and it is the gate to get rid of the voltage in MOSFET, this resistor. Okay, you can make a bridge with the low value resistance only. Okay, in case if we find something happen to this resistor, you can't bridge any battery resistor because it will cause a short to the ground as well. You can't bridge between resistor who connects the roots together. So to me, I don't like the bridge anymore, or at all. I never ever use the bridge. I just replace the component itself. Super easy lesson. Super easy lesson, isn't it? Let's go, dude. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go to the next section, guys.
Okay, let's go for the resistor. Resistor is looking like a capacitor, but it's colored black and soluble body. Okay, not like the coil. The coil is looking black but unsoluble body. Okay, but this is a resistor. We can see here a lot of resistors here. So let me show you. This is a resistor, a black one with a cerebral body, just like a capacitor, but colored black. Okay, just like a capacitor, but colored black. Okay, it's so easy to determine. Okay, here we are. There is a lot of capacitors, resistors here. Sorry, this is a resistor. Okay, this is a resistor, just looking like a capacitor, but the black one. This is a resistor here on Android board. So let's see it on iPhone board. Okay, there is a lot of capacitors here. I think you can see capacitors, all of them are black, okay, but small in size. This is a resistor, resistor, like 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors, okay. It's looking like a capacitors, but it's small in size and colored black. And we can know this from the schematic itself. Schematic will tell us this is, what is this? Is this a capacitor or resistor? But it's so easy to determine with just your eye. Just look at the black color and you will know that this is a resistor, while the capacitor has that yellow color. Okay, let's back to our Android board again. To know how to measure a resistor or how to know that this resistor is working, it's so easy to know. I am gonna show you how to do this. Just go on the resistor mode on the multimeter, which is, this is a capacitor measure, but we don't use this. We just use the buzzer mode as I told you. Okay, here we are. This is a measure of resistance. You can see this, it's looking like a headphone or something like this. This is a resistor measure. Okay, we are going to measure this according to the schematic itself. It will ask that this resistor is given a value like 300, 400, 500, whatever. We just look at the schematic itself to know the value, then get back again to the board to measure it. Let's see the measuring here. Okay, there is a value here, 5.1. Okay, 5.2. A value here, 5.2. 4.9. Okay. 1.2. This is how we measure it, okay? But let me tell you guys that we are not going to get an accurate number, okay? But if we get a value just like this, like a close value to the value of the schematic itself, it means that this resistor is working fine, okay? But if we get 0 OL, there is no resistance, and you see in the schematic that there is a reading here, that's mean that this resistance is not working at all. But as I told you, you need to desolder the piece itself firstly, or the component itself outside of the board, then go to measure it outside of the board, okay? This is how we can measure a resistor. This is how we can determine the resistor, how it looks on board. What's up, guys? In this section we are going to talk about transistor or MOSFET. Okay, what can it do? The main function of this, it's a gate the bus and organize the volt of charging before going to the IC charge itself. Mainly it's used for protection for the whole charging circuit, and you are going to see this in iPhone board. Okay, mostly you are going to see this MOSFET or transistor in all iPhone boards. The secondary function, it can be used to amplify the electric current or to block its passage. Remember which one is using for the amplify? The coil itself. This is also can be used as a coil. Okay, but watch out, because transistor or MOSFET, it's a group of diode. It's a group of diodes inside it. It's a diode sign here. Okay, so it may use to close this gate to not bust the current to another way. Okay, so it may be used to make an attention to the CPU itself. CPU will tell him, is everything is fine? Is this volt is fine? Is it exactly like 4.8 volt? Is it carry AC or DC? If everything is fine, just let this volt come to me. If this volt is not good, if the charger is bad or whatever happened, okay, this MOSFET will work as a gate. It will never let the volt go to the CPU itself. So how the transistor looks on board, it will be looking like this or this. It may look like a diode, okay? It has this diode appearance, so you will know it by yourself. But there is an extra leg here. You can see diode just has a leg here and a leg here and everything is fine. But the transistor just looking like a diode, but
there is an extra legs. Okay, it's always signed as Q. On iPhone board you will see it as Q. Okay, in Android you will see it as U or V. Okay, it's in Q in iPhone board. This is MOSFET, capacitor, capacitor, resistor, capacitor, resistor. Okay, this is how it looks. This is how it looks on board. How to measure Q? Just use the multimeter on diode mode. Okay, diode mode, we always use it as diode mode. Just remember, when we are measuring the diode, it is the same exactly. One side will give a value and the other side will give infinite. Okay, so we will have a value. Let's draw it to understand what's going on here. It's looking like this. Okay, we will get a value here and a value here and infinite here, just to make sure that everything is working fine. Okay, non-working Q will give a value on both, just like a diode exactly. Okay, if it is on series, it will cut the whole line just exactly as diode. Okay, if it parallel, exactly as we said in the diode mode, exactly in the diode mode. Important note here, when you're gonna make a bridge, make it between in and out. Okay, check the schematic and don't make it randomly, in case if we are going to make a bridge instead of this MOSFET, and I don't ever recommend you to do this, just replace it. Okay, in case if it's failure, just take it out of board and replace it. Never ever do a bridge. Okay, but there is some people who say you can make a bridge. Okay, you can make a bridge, but if there is a bad volt to go through this, you will destroy the whole charging circuit and you may destroy the CPU itself. So please don't do this. Wow, we've done this section, but now you must reward yourself.
What's up, guys? In our water damage section, in this section we are going to speak about how to deal with a water damage board such like this one. Okay, and we are going to take the ultimate way of how to deal with all boards to deal with this issue. And let me tell you something, this section is a standalone course because you are going to make your first $1,000 from this water damage, because this is the most common issue. And in today's section, I'm going to tell you everything you need in order to deal with this. Okay, guys, so let's start with the tool itself. We are going to need an ultrasonic cleaner, any ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, I'm not going to recommend any brand. Okay, whatever brand available in your country, just pick a one just like this, in ultrasonic cleaner. You're going to find this anywhere in all over the world. Okay, and we are going to use this hot air as well. Okay, and let me tell you something, guys. In this section, we are going to work like rules, okay? CPU Academy rules. As we have studied in LCD course, okay, in our LCD screen course, in how to change the LCD screen, we have followed our rules, okay? We are going also here to follow our rules, okay? These rules are fixed. Whatever you are working on iPhone, Android, whatever, okay, it's completely the same. So these rules, guys, in case if you save this rule inside your mind, you are going to fix any water damage issue. Rule number one, make sure that you have removed all cameras flat and all of flat on the board itself, just like here we removed everything. Okay, do not add inside here any kind of connector here like a cameras, whatever. Do not add it inside, just at the board itself. Okay, so first step, make sure that you have removed all of connectors from the board itself. The second step is to add a 99% alcohol here, or 97, whatever you have inside your country. Okay, just fill it with alcohol or whatever material you have for cleaner, just add it here. Never ever add the board inside the ultrasonic while it's empty. There is no materials inside. This is like you are going to destroy the board itself, and you are also going to destroy the ultrasonic cleaner. So make sure you have added any kind of material inside here like alcohol or whatever. So let's add our alcohol here. Okay, just a little bit. Okay, this is super enough. This is super enough. And also, I don't recommend any kind of cleaners. Whatever you have, it's okay. Okay, whatever you have, it's okay. We just need an alcohol here. Okay. The second step is to add the board itself inside. Okay, make sure that alcohol is cover all the board, just like this. Okay, alcohol here is covering all the board inside. So after that, we are going to set this ultrasonic cleaner on 300, 150 on this side. The board will be on this side, and after that we are going to check here 150 on the other side, and then let's move to the second step. Okay, let's start. Keep your eyes on the second, because after 150 seconds we are going to make it on the other side. Okay, let me show you what's going on inside. As you can see here, guys, it's working super duper well. This is our second step, is to start the ultrasonic cleaner 150 on this side and 150 on the other side. Okay, this is the second step. Remember, let's make a recap. Our first step is to remove all kind of flats on the board, like a camera flat or whatever. Okay, the second step is to make it 150 seconds. Sorry, the second step will be to add alcohol inside the ultrasonic cleaner, then make it 150 seconds on this side, then stop the ultrasonic cleaner and make it 150 on the other side. Right now we have reached the 150, so we need to make it on the other side. So let's make it on the other side. Then we are going to start it. This is how we are going to work inside our CPU Academy. Exactly, this is how we deal with all kind of water damage. So I'm just giving you guys everything you need to start. So please don't forget to review this course, because your review is going to help us so much, guys. Okay, so it is doing the magic here. Okay, after that we are going to just move the brush. Okay, I will show you. This is the third step, but we are about to finish this step. Okay, we need to use this brush in the third step. Okay, let's go on the third step, guys. We are going to use this. Just move like this. Okay, just move like this. It is super duper easy, guys, but try to move gently. Okay, just move gently. Okay, it's looking okay. No problem, just move smoothly. Okay, on the other side also we are going to use it. Just move smoothly, just like this. The board is super duper clean, guys, right now. I can see it. Okay, you can do this in all board, guys. Whatever it's water damage or not, you can do this process to make your board just like a zero board. Okay, a manufacturer board. It will make it a super duper clean. And this is the third step. So easy. Just move with your brush on the board itself on the two sides, and this is super easy, guys. The fourth step, just need to bring this out of alcohol, just to let you see. It is super clean, guys. As you can see here, super clean. Wow. Okay, step number 4, just bring this out. We don't need this at all. Just make this here and add your board here and leave it for like a 30 minutes here, just like this. Do not make anything. Okay, but remember our rule: 30 minutes on this side and 30 minutes on this side. Don't forget this. Okay, we are going to leave it for 30 minutes, and I am going to back again for you. Just leave it without even anything. Okay, don't cover this, just leave it like this. Okay, I will back for you in 1 hour because I will leave it on 30 minutes on this way and 30 minutes on this way, and I'm going to back with the last step here. Okay, so see you in 1 hour. Okay guys, the last step is to use this hot air, and make sure that you are going to follow the instruction while using the hot air itself. Firstly, we need to make this hot air on 60 degree and air on 0. Okay, just I will make a repeat again because this is so important, guys. Do not never ever make the air on 1 or 2 as they said. Okay, I just need you to make the air on 0, just like a hot gun. Okay, this is a hot air, but we are going to make it use like a hot gun, but in a safety way. 60 degree, 0 air, and we are going to move directly on this way, like this one. Okay, we are going to move like this way. Okay, just like we are going to make it like a dry. Okay, and let me tell you something, the 1 hour that we left it inside the machine itself, it will make this board completely dry, but we are going to make sure that it is like 100% dry. So we are just moving like a 30 seconds for this side, okay, on 60 degree and 0, and on the other side also in 60 degree and 0, it will make it a completely dried. So this is the last step, and this is so easy step. Okay, this is so easy step, just 30 seconds and move like this. We are not going to make anything like, okay, and make sure do not go on the CPU itself, okay, on the IC power or stuff like that. We are just going to move so fast, okay, from the surrounded itself, okay, like this. We are going to move super duper fast, okay, super duper fast. Just 30 seconds. It's not a problem, or it's not a big deal. Okay, just moving like 30 seconds by this way. Okay, do not go directly above the ICs and make like you are going to make a focus on the ICs. No, we are not going to do this. We are just moving from the side itself 60 degree and moving so fast and moving just like this to make sure that the board is completely like 100% clean. And the same way, in case if we see like a CPU here, we are not going to hit above it, like surrounded. Okay, like surrounded 30 seconds, and this mission is done. Our board is like a complete ready, and it will work smoothly without any kind of any problem. And this is how we are going to work on all kind of PCB board or all kind of water damage on the PCB board itself. It will be like a completely new board. Okay, and this is like an ultimate way, and this is the steps we are going to follow, like 100% accurate steps. And this is how also I work, or this is how I follow. And guys, don't forget to review our course, because your review is going to help us, guys, to upload more and more courses to help you inside this journey. We still have a lot of courses to do. We are going to work on the software course and a lot of courses, so please make sure that you have reviewed our course, because your review is going to encourage us to go more and more for you. So see you in the next section, guys.
What's up, guys? We are going to speak about measuring diode in a diode mode, which is related to mastering the multimeter. This lesson goal is how to examine the charging line by diode mode. Okay, this is our goal in this from this episode, and how to examine any line with the diode mode, how to determine like is there is a shorter ground or there is a cotton line. We are going to know all of this by diode mode. Mastering the multimeter is one of the most used measure during our work in a diode mode. Okay, when to use the diode mode: to check any component on the battery circuit. You are just going to check on the battery line. Okay, it will be from 300 to 700, so it means that this is working well. Okay, and this is when we are going to speak about the charging line. Okay, you will understand this probably. We are going to measure a diode mode, okay, on the battery line itself. We must get between 0.300 to 0.700, which means that this battery line is working like 100% well. Okay, measure any circuit connector like a power key, camera, and this is on battery connector, by the way. I forgot to tell you, we do this on the battery connector. Okay, measure any circuit connector on a power key, camera, mic, speaker, memory, SIM card. We know all of this. Okay, you will see in the schematic itself, it will tell you that this connector, like a power key connector or camera connector or mic connector, you must get like 0.300, you must get like 0.50, you must get whatever. You will see the value itself in the schematic, and you are going to measure it on the connector directly. So this is so vital. 5 measure on battery connectors only. 5 measure on battery connectors only. From 300 to 700, and the other side will be infinite. This means that the battery line components are working so well. Okay, this is the first one. Second one, less than 300 and the other part infinite. There is a unusual usage in the battery due to a water solution or a salt or whatever. So the solution of this will be to wash the board. So the solution of this is to wash the board probably if you get less than 300. Okay. The second one will be double value from the same side. Double value like 150 and 150, like the red one and the black one. Both of them get a value. Okay, so there is a component on the battery. There is a component on a barrel is shorted to the ground. Okay, and solution is to use the short killer. So there is a short here if there is value in both of them. If there is both value in both sides. So buzz, which means short in all circuit root. If you get buzz, this is a full short. If there is a cut in series, infinite, like zero OL on both sides. Zero OL on both sides. And the solution here is to use the microscope to check what is going on, which component is the reason of this cut in series. So it's so easy to follow. And all of these guys, you need to save them inside your memory. So just bring a paper and pen and write all of this in a paper in order to save them inside your memory. You don't need to understand what is going on. You just need to save all of these measures inside your memory, because this is how you are going to work on the charge circuit. Any connector, if you get infinite, it means that there is a cut in series. Any connector, like I'm going to measure this connector here, if I get infinite in diode mode, it means that there is a cut in circuit, and the solution here is to use the microscope or to do bridge. Okay, if you get a buzzer, it means there is a short like 100%. If you get a buzzer on this connector, it means that there is a short like 100%. Okay, it's so easy, guys, and you will see here, this is on the schematic. It says that the value of diode mode here is 522, value 520. Okay, you will see all of this when you use the schematic itself. It's so easy, guys. Wow. Wow, well done, dude. See you next lecture. So let's see how we came to troubleshooting as Apple technician. Firstly, let's draw a connector where all our work will begin. Okay, all our work will begin from this connector. Okay, so there is a pin, there is a pins on the connector itself. Okay, sounds great. Every pin from this on the connector have a diode value. Let's see, this pin have like 425 value, 535, 322, 221, 322, 400, 500, 600. So how can we find a diode value here? We can find a diode value from a schematic. Okay, sounds great. So we are going to get our multimeter on a diode mode. Okay, and we are going to measure. Let me get another color. Okay, red is fine. We are going to measure all of this. In case if we didn't get a value, in case if we didn't get a value in any bin, the correct value, which means that the root of all this pin is not working. There is something issue inside this root which make the problem. Okay, so let's say we got here like 100. Okay, we got 100. It sounds like bad. 100, so there's a component not working inside this. Like let's draw the root here. Okay, there is a capacitor here. There's a capacitor here. There's a capacitor here. Then there's a coil. Then there's a resistor. Okay, then this is what we had studied inside the hardware, and this is what we studied inside the hardware. This is what we studied inside the hardware. Okay, so here there is a capacitor, but this capacitor is on battery. So this capacitor is on battery, which is connected to the ground itself. Okay, we have studied what is the battery route and what is the series route, but let's write it. Let's change this one to, okay, this will be fine. So all of this route, is called series route, which is connected directly, okay, to the connector or to the IC or whatever. It's called series route. This one is called parallel, which is connected to the ground. So what if I got zero OL value, okay, or infinite? That means that the issue here will be on the series components. Okay, I will work directly on the series component. That means that the volt is got stolen inside the ground. So I will go directly to work on the parallel component here, which is related to the circuit line, which is related to this line. Okay, sounds great, sounds super duper great. So after that, I am going to make, how can I work on series components? Okay, as we have studied in the hardware course, we directly know how to measure the capacitor, the coil, the resistor. We know all of this. But let me give you something like a quick, okay, a quick business. We are going to do something called the volt measure. Okay, this is how we are going to test this one. Like I just saw in the schematic, this one is carry 1.2 the line, and this one is just there is 3.2, and this one is there is like 4.1. So we are going to make a voltmeter here. Okay, a voltmeter here, sorry, a voltmeter here and a voltmeter here. In case if we didn't find a volt here, okay, we are going to make a desolder to this capacitor. We are going to take it out of board. Okay, we are just going to take this capacitor out of board, and we are going to measure this capacitor to know is it this capacitor is working or not. We have taken this in complete details, how to measure a capacitor outside of board and how to know if this capacitor is not working or not. In case if we find that this capacitor is the reason, we are going to take this capacitor out of the circuit. Then we are going to add a new capacitor here, which will make the volt go again here. Then we are going to make our ultimate final step. We are going again to measure a diode measure here. Okay, in case if we found the same here, this value, which means we already make the problem solved. And this is exactly how we work directly step by step like Apple technician. This is how we work inside Apple company. I just give you like 100 tips and tricks. What's up guys? In this episode we are going to speak about power supply. The goal of this lesson to be a troubleshooting king. Okay, this is the ultimate way to deal with the power supply, as we have taken the ultimate way to master the multimeter. We are going to master the power supply just right now. So, short on board reading, click on the power key. If you get more than 2 ampere or the power supply is getting restart, it means that there is a short to the capacitor beside the IC. Okay, so if you click on the power key and you get 2 ampere, 2 ampere or a restart in power supply, once you click on the power key, that means that there is a short beside the IC power. And as I told you guys, in all kind of this measuring, you don't need to understand, you just need to write it down and save them inside your memory, and write them or somewhere on wall or wherever. Just let them in front of your eyes 24 hours, wherever you are going, just you are saying this. Okay, I don't need you to understand, just save them. Boot without clicking on power key, you just get the phone is just logo, the phone is just boot without clicking on power key, which means that there is short on VBAT line, whatever it's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, speaker, indirect short. Once you decrease the volt, it will stop direct short 0.0 on VBAT. Which means, let me tell you, cut to the chase here. If the phone is got to power on without you even click on the power key, it means that there is a short on VBAT line. You are going to open the schematic and check where is directly the VBAT line in this, and go check by voltage one by one to know where exactly the voltage, where exactly the short is. Okay, pro note, use a multimeter on bus mode and you check the most component that surrounded the capacitor on VBAT line, or you can work on the bus mode. Okay, it's super duper easy, and I think that everything is going to be super clear here. IC power issue, okay, ampere less than 0.2, unstable load 0.2 and back to 0. Remove your finger on power key, it restart, directly went to 0. Okay, restart on Apple logo, power supply load 0 ampere, there is nothing more, 0 ampere. Short on power supply after clicking on power key. All of this are IC power issues. Okay, if you get all of this reading, that means that you have a real problem in the IC power itself. Okay, I think this is a clear as crystal. Okay, this is a clear as crystal, but you are going also to write all of this to not forget it. CPU issue, okay, ampere more than 2 ampere, then back to normal again, ampere more than 2 ampere, and LCD is working fine. Restart on first Apple logo, ampere so high after power click, it's a CPU or eMMC, so it check the capacitors around them. So how to know if it a CPU issue or IC power issue or eMMC issue? You are just going to know this from a power circuit. You are just going to know all of this in a power circuit. I will tell you a way in power circuit episode to know directly which one to work on, because it's looking like same as IC power. They are looking like each other. They are looking like identical. Okay, eMMC and battery connector ampere more than 0.10, then back to 0 again, then back to 0 again. EMC or battery connector ampere pointer vibrates so fast, then it's eMMC. 1.6, high usage of battery and phone heating, short on the VBAT line. So you just need to read this. Just read this and type it down. Just put the video and type it down. Okay, software ampere will be less than 0.05, so it's a software problem. Okay, hanging on the second logo of Apple or any kind of any phone, it's a software problem like a 90%. So hanging on the first logo, then the phone shut down, it's a CPU or IC problem. Okay, IC bar problem. If it just pass the first logo and hang on the second logo and just close the phone, so it's a software problem here. Note, don't buy power supply less than 5 ampere, because we need to inject board to determine where is the short exactly. So never ever buy a 2 ampere power supply. Thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, our mental lesson today will be about troubleshooting mind. And this is exactly something also I have faced in my beginning, in my first 3 years in working in this field. Like once I see a hard problem here that I don't know how to solve this problem. This is sounds so hard. What is the hell is going on here? So you need to make yourself feel enjoying while troubleshooting a problem. There is something I love to find a problem here. Okay, it's something so challenging. Once I solve this problem, I feel myself so great. I have muscle. Okay, once I solve this problem, I feel so great. And this is how we need to change our mind. Okay, just go every day inside this work. I need to find something I don't know. I want to learn. Okay, I need a hard problem. I need something like iPhone 14, iPhone 15. Hey, oh, it's okay. Just learn. Just increase your knowledge. And as I told you before, the more knowledge you increase, the more money you will increase. And this is the equation itself. So you need to change your mind. Once you are going to work inside this field, tell yourself that troubleshooting is something so great. I like to see problems. I like to solve problems because this is increase my knowledge and knowledge will increase my money, and this is how we do in this work. Change your mind. Right now you need to be a troubleshooter. Just tell yourself that you love problems.
What's up, guys? We are going to speak about schematics. The goal of this lesson to understand the type of schematics and how to use the schematics like an Apple team, and mastering the schematic is must. We can't repair in a pro way without diode measures, routes, and circuits. So type of schematic, guys, is schematics show the root of circuit and the name of component itself on the layout diagram. We are going to see the image for all of this. No worries at all. I'm just going to read what is going on here, and we are going to use the schematic way. So important. This is we are going to use, okay, the layout diagram to show you the root of the circuit board itself, and this is so important. So also service manual, I don't use service manual at all, and this is solutions. This is, you can find here, screws, part numbers, connectors, and this is how I don't use service manual, and plug diagram, which is the IC relations, and also I don't use plug diagrams. First type is called schematic. Okay, this is the schematic, guys, the most important type and the main one, because you can know the name of the component through this. We are going to know, like right now there's a problem in this capacitor. Right now I can know the name of this capacitor is C1704. If I go to Google and I just type C1704, okay, I will see a lot of websites where I can order this capacitor exactly the same, and I can also know from this. Let me show you something here. We can also know, like, this capacitor can store 6.3 volt. Okay, we can see this here, and also we can see the value of this capacitor 1.0 UF. Okay, we can also see this. In order, if we going to take another capacitor from another board, we will know exactly which value we are going to work on. Okay, so this is so important. This schematic is so important because we know the name from this. Layout diagram. Layout diagram is just like this, okay? After knowing the name of the component from the schematic, you can know where it placed on board through the layout diagram and the relation of this component one after it. So there is a problem I see as I take a board right now. Under the microscope, I see a problem here in this. I see a problem here in this capacitor. So I can know exactly where it find in the board itself, and when I click on it, I can see the relation route to this capacitor, where exactly this capacitor is going, so I can work on the circuit of this capacitor exactly. So the layout diagram is so important also. The block diagram is just the relation between IC and the components around it. Beginners will like this. We are intermediate, we are advanced, we don't use block diagram. And right now I know you have never worked before in anywhere, but your level right now is an advanced. You are an advanced right now, you're not a beginner. Don't tell yourself that you are a beginner. Maybe you can use this, but to me, I have never used this before. It's called the block diagram, and it will show you the relation between the IC and all the component around it. Okay, it's good for beginners, which not good for us. So how can you use a schematic like pro? Whatever you are working right now in any kind of any schematic program, I will show you how exactly we are going to use it. Right now I have a problem in IC charger, or I'm going to work in a right now I have a problem in charging circuit. Okay, as I told you, we are going to work from small to big. So we are going to open the schematic. This is called the schematic, the first type. Okay, we are going to open a schematic normally. Then we are going to search about a charging circuit. Okay, this is what exactly we are going to see. The IC itself. Then there is a relation about this IC with a capacitor here. This is capacitor on parallel. Okay, then there is the root on series. This is the series root. Maybe there is a capacitor here, and there is a coil here, there is whatever. Okay, I just understand what is going on here. Okay, I just understand what is going on here. I am going to take this name of the capacitor, which is C1739. I will take this name, then I will close the capacitor itself, but I will take some information from this capacitor, like a volt, diode, and all of this measure. I will take them and I will write them in a paper or whatever, or I will keep this. What's up, guys? In today's lesson, we're going to speak about power circuits. So the goal of this lesson, how to deal with all power issues. That's just like Apple Team. I'm gonna show you how we deal with all of this kind of problems inside Apple Team. This is the ultimate way to deal with all power circuits issues. Okay, firstly, start from small to big, and this is so vital to know. You always need to start from small to big, like you are going to start from the power key, okay, until you reach to the IC itself. Because I see most of people just say, hey, there is a problem in power, just go directly to the IC of power, or go directly to the CPU, or go directly to the AMMC. This is completely wrong. This is why we have studied all kind of electronic components, and this is why we have understand what is the difference between series and parallel, and that is why we understood what is the cut in line issue and what is the shorted to the ground, to understand and to know how to work from small to big. Okay, and here small means the small component of the circuit, like capacitor, like power key, like capacitor, okay, like coil, like resistor, whatever. This is the meaning of a small. Big, like IC power, like CPU, like EMMC, which means in case if you got problem in the here, you need to start firstly in small and then to start go directly to the big one. So warning, let's read this warning. Warning, don't go to IC in the beginning. Always start with the power key. Use a test point to open a power. Use a test point to open power of the cell phone by using tweezer with the ground. I'm gonna show you this in next lecture. Okay, in case if you have problem in power key and you cannot use the power key to power on the phone, we can do this by the test point itself, and I'm gonna show you how to do this just by using the tweezer. Okay, if it is started, then it changed the power key. If the phone is started, then it changed the power key. And you can measure a volt on power key 1.8 volt. 1.8 volt, which means that the power key is working. Okay, so easy to do. We are going to start from small to big. Battery can be the reason. Always put battery in your mind. Okay, use a power supply and remove the battery from phone. If it launches, so change the battery directly. Battery will be the reason, and the volt of the bat will be 3.7 volt. 3. Diode measure on two things. Diode measure. 3 diode measure to check if there is any short, okay, or cut in line. Just make a diode measure on battery connector and a diode measure in power key to check what is going on. And we are going to know exactly how to do this in a diode measure episode. Okay, diode measure episode, you will see directly how to make a diode measure on a connector of battery connector. You will get from 300 to 700, and on the power key connector you will get a value from side and infinite from other side. Otherwise, if there is something not like this, so it is a big issue here, you will understand directly how to deal with this. Okay, we are going to tell this in a diet episode. Components on a power area. Okay, power crescent oscillators, measure it with voltage. Okay, we always measure this with voltage. Ref IC, CPU, NAND IC, and RAM. Those are maybe the problem here, and the last step will be rebooting on the IC power, which we are going to see in the next lecture, how to work with the IC power, how to make a reboot for it. Okay, note, power supply will tell you where exactly you are going to work at. Okay, power supply will tell you exactly where we are going to work in. And there is also an episode for power supply and episode for diode measure. There is a section only for just measuring the diode and measuring with power supply. There is a big section inside our course. Power common issues. Hanging on in first logo, it's a hardware issue like at 80%, while hanging on in the second logo, it's software issue like 80%. Okay, water damage. Sorry, let's go with the white LCD firstly. Check a new LCD one firstly. Okay, then check the software. Then it's a CPU or RAM or IC power. Okay, easy peasy, isn't it? Super easy. Super duper easy. This is on ultimate. This is everything you need to know about power issues. Water damage, clean a board with a Kai, then place it vertically, then dry it with the hot air. So easy. If it water damage, we just need to clean the board. Okay, then place it vertically, then dry it with the hot air itself. So easy. If the phone dropped, firstly check the board under the microscope, what is going on. If there is something happened, then usually follow up way by multimeter in a voltage way and start to measure volt. Once you didn't see a volt in this area like 0 volt, it means that this is the issue. Okay, measuring in and out of volt of each component on the power circuit. So easy, guys, super duper easy. Thanks for watching. See you in next lecture. First step, we need to know which power line is the causing of the problem itself. Is it the IC power or the CPU or the NAND? Okay, firstly we will connect the phone to the power supply. If we got an ampere more than 0.1, like 100 milliampere, that means that the IC power is working correctly. Okay, in this case we will accuse a CPU or NAND. So we will connect the phone to the computer itself. If the computer read the phone, this means that the CPU is working probably. In this case, we will accuse the NAND. So we'll do the software to the NAND. Okay, in this case, we'll do a software to NAND. If the software didn't work, we are going to do a reballing hardware to the NAND. This is exactly how we will work on all power issues. We need to determine, is it IC power problem or CPU or NAND. Okay, if it IC power problem, it will be on the power supply less than 0.1, less than 100 milliampere. So we will work directly on the IC power, as we will see here. So if it less than 0.1 milliampere, we will go directly in the second step to work on the IC power. is to measure a volt on a power key. Okay, this is a voltage measure, as we see here, 0.8 0.8 volt, which means that the power key is working probably. Okay, so let me show you how to power on the phone without power key. Just get your tweezers and add it on the power key connector, and the other part on the ground. As we see here, the mobile is just powering on without a power key. As we see on the power supply here, the mobile is just running correctly. And as we see, 0.1, which means that the IC power is working probably. As we get a power 1.8 on the power key, also power key is working probably. So in the next step, we will just pressing on the IC. Maybe the phone take a damage or something happened to the phone itself, so we are going to press on the ICs, like the three ICs that we mentioned before, and keep your eye on the power supply itself. If the power supply go more than 0.1, means that this IC is a problem. Okay, we are going to press on all IC, but just a light pressing. Okay, don't press so hard, just a light pressing. Then we are going to do a diode measure on a power route. Okay, as we see here. Okay, if we get a read on a diode and the other part will be infinite, this means that the root of power is also working correctly. Okay, in this case, the root is working correctly. If we got like infinite in both side or reading on both side, this means that the power root is not working. So this step is to make sure that the power route is working correctly, and in this case we need also a schematic here. I will show you how to work without a schematic in next step. Okay, but this step is so important to just measure a diode on the IC route. In the last step is doing a randomly volt reading. As we see here, we just trying to measure a volt around a CPU. As we see, there is a 3 volt here, which means that the CPU, the IC power is working correctly, and it gives the volt to the CPU. And this is randomly without any kind of schematic. We're just going to make a multimeter on a volt mode, and we are going to measure on a capacitors around the CPU and NAND to make sure that they take the volt from the IC power, which means that the IC power is working correctly. And this is a way also to make sure which one is the problem here, which one we are going to work on. Okay, this is also another way. We will see like 3 ways in this video to make it easier for you. Okay, as you can see, there is 1.8 volt here on the capacitor, which means that the IC power is working probably, and he gives the volt to the CPU. As we can see here on the capacitor, there is a volt here, and there is 1.8 volt and 1.8 volt. 3.2, it means that it's working like 100% IC power is working. Okay, the problem here will be between CPU and NAND. And as we mentioned in the beginning of this video, to know which one is the problem, we're just gonna connect the phone to the computer to know which one exactly is the problem here. Is it the CPU or the NAND? Okay, and if it's a CPU problem, it will be easier than the NAND, because most of reballing will be easier to the CPU. Okay, we are going to find a lot of reballing material to the CPU itself. We are just still doing the randomly volting measure around the CPU to make sure that everything is working fine around the CPU. And we are going to test also the same way around the NAND. We are going to measure the voltage around the NAND. Okay, it is so easy, guys. Just let's do it around the NAND. As we can see, there is a voltage around the NAND here, 0.6 volt and 0.6 volt also. Okay, there's 1.8 volt here, which means also that the NAND take the volt. Okay, here we are. NAND, we got voltage measure. Okay, 1.8 again. It means that the NAND take the volt from IC power, so IC power is working like 100%. There is no problem in IC power route. It's working like 100%, and we just know that. Okay, there is a 3 volt here. It means that the NAND take like 100% of voltage here. Okay, so IC power in this case is working probably. And let's see if we have let's see if we have the schematic here. The schematic show you directly where to get the voltage, as we did. We did this in the randomly volt, okay? But if we have the schematic, it will tell you directly where to find the volt, okay? This is show you exactly as we did in the random volt, okay? There is a 3.0 volt here as we found it. This is how we are going to make. In case if you have the schematic itself, we are going to follow a voltage like this, how it shows in the schematic itself. We are going to follow a component after the component until we didn't find a volt in this component, which means that this component is the main accuser of this problem. In this case, we are going to take out this component and we will replace. What's up, guys? In today's lesson, we are going to speak about charging circuit. Our lesson goal: how to solve a charging issue just like a bro tech. Okay, forgot about beginner solution because I don't like it. Okay, this is the most common issue you are going to get in your store, a charging issue. So please deal with this as a pro one. Forgot about all kinds of beginner solution. So this is the ultimate way to deal with all charging circuits problem. Starting from small to big, exactly as I told you in the power issue, we are going to do the same in the charging issue. We are going to start from the small to the big. Okay, make sure that you are using the original charger. So firstly, when the customer come to you, use original charger while you are testing this charging area. Okay, test another battery. Just test another battery because maybe this battery is the issue, or try to make it the test with the power supply. Take the battery, remove it away, and make an no. Test another battery. Maybe this battery isn't accepting the charging anymore, so we need to add another battery and test with another battery. USB connector may be not working, and this is, we can know this. USB connector may be not working, and this is usual because adding the USB a lot inside this area, and you can see this by your eyes. You will know once you see the connector by your eyes that this USB connector is not working. Diode measure on a battery connector, this is your first step, and we have a big diode measure episode. We are speaking about this in details. Okay, component can be the reasons. Capacitor or coil, Zener die, MOSFET, BSI, SWE, NTC, B-temp, charger IC, all of this can be the issue. So we are going to use a follow-up measure, but we don't need to inject the root with 5 volt. Use a follow-up measure, but we need to inject the root with 5 volts by power supply. Then measure a voltage on each component in the root, which means we need to connect the power supply to phone, okay, like a battery itself to this phone, and we will get the multimeter itself, and we are going to measure a component by component. We are going in this way. If you need to use this way, we need to use the schematics. A schematic is must here. Open the schematic, go to the charging circuit and change and check which parts of this exactly have every volt. Like this one will carry like 2.2 volt. Where is this exactly, and where is this exactly? And you are going to follow by the schematic itself and go to check one by one the volt on one by one, and everything is gonna be fine. The component that you will not get a volt on it, it means that this component just still the volt. So this component is not working. Just remove it from the board and just replace it. Note: no charge. There is a note for you. If you find no charge, so the problem on series, there is a cut online here. If there is no charge to the phone, if there is a fake charge or high usage, so the problem here will be on parallel. There is a capacitor installed the volt here. So this is so important note. If there is no charge, go directly to on series. If there is a stall in charge or a fake charge, go to components on parallel. Okay, that's related to the charging circuit. How it works on Android, as you can see here, a connector give to a capacitor go to the MOSFET send it to Tigris, and Tigris just send to BMU, and BMU go to VBH power, which already give the all components on board. Okay, this is how it works. Directly on the Android. And I forgot to tell you that this MOSFET just to tell the CPU that everything is going fine, and it just show the percentage of the battery itself. Okay, this is how it work on the Android itself. How it work on the iPhone itself? Okay, 5 volt. It just go on capacitor, coil, Zener diode. It just go directly to the MOSFET. Is it got a charge? Yes, it's got a charge. So pass the volt to the TriStar. TriStar will pass it to Tigris. Tigris is the IC charger. Tigris will go to the CPU and IC power, and everything is gonna be fine. Okay, this is how it works on Android and on iPhone. It's so easy. As I told you, we are going to master the Android and iPhone together. No worries at all. You are in the CPU Academy hands. You don't have to be worried at all in this job. Thank you for watching. See you in next lecture. To measure diode on the connector itself, so we are going to get a board like this. It is so cheap, by the way. We are just getting the diode measure right here, as you see, a diode measure. Okay, we got all reading done, as we see here. If we get reading in all lines, that means that all the line on series is working correctly. There is no cut on line at all. Okay, in case if we got 0 AL in any kind of these lines, that means we are going to open the phone and we are going directly to work on this line. So this is how we can test the series line on the charger circuit without even opening the phone. This is our first step to do, and this board is so cheap, don't worry. Okay, this board is so cheap, it's gonna help us without even opening the phone. So our first step is to do a diode measure on the connector. Our second step will be also without tearing down the phone or without even opening the phone with the USB safety tester. Okay, let's get the USB safety tester here. As you can see, guys, it is so cheap also. Okay, we can just test what is going on inside this phone without even opening it. It will be like our power supply. Okay, it will show us is this phone is doing a real charge or a fake charge. Okay, it's doing a real charge because as we see here 0.40 ampere, which means this phone is a real charge. In case if we get 0.1 ampere, like 100 milliampere, that means that this phone is doing a fake charge. Okay, in case if we get a big ampere, like 1 ampere or like 2 ampere, stuff like that, that means that this phone has a short. So this USB safety tester is gonna show us what we are going to do inside the phone without even opening the phone, without even open the phone. Okay, so this is our second step, is to use the USB safety tester and check the ampere here. Our third step will be by using the power supply, because it may be the battery is the problem, so we need to remove the battery from the phone itself and directly connect the power supply to the phone. In case if we get reading with the power supply and the phone just got powered on, it means that the battery is the main issue of in this case. In this case, it will mean that the battery is the main issue. Okay, as we can see here, we just connected the phone and we removed the battery. In case if the phone just boot, okay, as we can see here, the phone is working probably a 47, which means that everything has got and has done its job. So the problem here, or the main issue here, will be the battery. You will need to replace the battery. So this step is a mandatory in case if we didn't find a solution with a diode measure, the first step, nor a USB safety tester, the second step. So this will be our third step to check if the battery is working or not. Okay, our fourth step here is to check the battery cable. Maybe the battery cable is destroyed or there is something happened to the battery cable here. So we are going to check if this cable is working probably or not. And nobody has telling this before. Nobody is doing that. Okay, I will show you probably how you do this. This is like a tips and tricks. Just Apple team who are doing something like this. So I'm gonna show you how to do this probably. Okay, firstly we need to find 5 volt on the battery cable. Okay, we will just take out the battery cable from the board itself. We will not remove it, just take it out. Okay, hold on, there is something here. Okay, we just need to find 5 volt, 5 volt on the cable. If we find 5 volt on the cable, this means that this battery, okay, let's test it. Let's get the 5 volt here. Okay, this is the positive area. Let's give it another try. And make sure that your USB cable is connected to the phone while doing this. Okay, here you are. There is a 5 volt here, which means that the battery cable is working probably. We don't need to change the battery cable, and here how we are going to check it. Okay, it's super duper easy. There is no worry about this. Okay, in the next step we are gonna check all the battery route. Okay, in our first step, which was the diode measure, we just made sure that everything is working fine on the series route. So right now we are going to check the battery route. How we are gonna do this? This is so easy, guys. We will just get 5 volt here on the test point beside the battery connector. In case if we find the 5 volt here, which means that every single component on the battery route is working probably. As we can see here, we are going to get the 5 volt here, which means every component on the battery route is working probably. So now we have it checked the battery route, we have it checking the series route, and everything is gonna be fine. Right now we need to check the last step, which is the MOSFET, because maybe MOSFET stolen a volt or stolen something which is not going to the IC itself. So we need to check if it going well or not. So we will check a capacitor beside a tri-star in order to make sure that the MOSFET has done his job. As we see here, we got 5 volt beside the capacitor, beside the tri-star here. So which means that everything is working fine now. So everything is working fine. What is the only accuser of this problem will be now? It's IC charger, the Tigris or the IC charger. We are going to take the IC charger out of the board, and then we are going to make a reballing to it, as we are gonna see in the troubleshooting section, not now. Okay, but the IC will be the last accuser of the problem itself, and this is how we are going to work on the charging circuit. Super duper easy, guys. What's up, guys? In this episode we are going to speak about Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Okay, our lesson goal is to master the Wi-Fi Pro solution in the Chinese way of dealing with the phone Wi-Fi. So the root sorry the root so the root so the root of the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, it is IC of Wi-Fi, antenna, CPU, filter, and PMU. And remember, our way in solution is from small to big. Always remember this. Okay, how to check it? Diode measure is your best friend. Okay, diode measure is your best friend. Then the follow-up solution, as we have learned it in the camera. Okay, thus as camera way, check the filter damage volt, because this is the most or the common issue. There is a filter damage. A filter is looking like the coil, guys. Okay, filters and coils are one. Use a tweezer as antenna. Okay, this is a professional way. I don't like to use it. Check the IC of Wi-Fi, heating, and the last will be software if it Android. Okay, so before doing the software, you will check the IC itself firstly. iPhone 6 Wi-Fi in Chinese way solution. This is exactly where you will place your tweezer, and this is a Blueway. As I told you, the Blueway, you will add your tweezer here, okay, to make it used as antenna. So if there is something here, if it worked, so this is the problem and it changed this. But I don't recommend you to do this, because this is a little bit professional, and it may be this filter the problem. Okay, it's always the problem. This filter is always the problem. Okay, this filter is always the problem. Just take out this filter, okay, and replace it with something else, and it will work. Like I have dealt with the thousands of phone. I always find this filter is the problem in the Wi-Fi itself. This is the antenna, as I told you. Okay, we can make to measure this to this. This is the Wi-Fi IC, which may be the problem itself. We will take this IC out and replace it. When any phone has a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth issue, always try it on your Wi-Fi, because it may be the Wi-Fi of the customer doesn't support his phone type, or maybe it's a software issue. Thank you. What's up, guys? We are going to speak about camera circuit. The goal of this lesson to mastering the camera of iPhone and Android in the Chinese way of dealing with the phone camera. No worries at all. The ultimate camera. Okay, the root of camera: CPU, PMU, LDO, camera connector. Always remember our rule in repairing: from small to big. From small to big. So how can we check it? We are just going to use a diode measure on the connector itself. we are going to the schematic itself, and just we are going to camera to check what is the diode value of the connector itself. If the diode value from, it says like the diode value is 0.123, so we are going to do the diode value. If we get this value, it means that everything is fine, so we will change the camera directly. Okay, follow-up solution like voltage. As we have learned, we are going to make a measure volting a component after component, voltmeter on a component after component. We are going to check a flash. Last step, we will replace a camera with a new one in case of that. Okay, and after replacing camera, if it's still not working, we are going to replace the connector of camera, and this is the last step. As we can see here, this is iPhone 6 diode measure. This is on the schematic itself. It will tell you exactly the value of the diode itself with the number of bin. Okay, we are going to get our multimeter and get all of this like 451, 451, 451. In case if we didn't get this value or this diode value, we will check the root of this bin. Okay, what if I get like 420? Sorry, what if I get like 42 only, and it shows that this value must be 451? We are going to follow the root of this. There will be a root for this bin. Okay, like there is a capacitor here, there is a coil here, so there is whatever, and we know exactly how to know the destroyed one. Okay, we know exactly how to determine the destroyed one. We are going to take it out and change it and replace it with a new one. Then we are going back to check a diode measure. If it's 451, then everything is working fine and the camera will be working probably. And this is how exactly we work on with the diode mode. iPhone voltmeter, how we make voltmeter, as we can see here on the schematic. Okay, we can get 1.8 volt here. Okay, we can get whatever. Okay, the schematic is telling us exactly how to measure the volt, like 2.85 volt. There is a capacitor here. We need to check 2.85 volt on the capacitor. We need to check here 1.2 volt here. We need to check here, and this is how to work with the voltmeter. Voltmeter, guys, is so easy, but you need a schematic here. Okay, you need a schematic here in order to make sure that you are working probably on the right way. Okay, pro note here, when working with camera or any component that has a connector, first thing to do is to replace it with a new one. If it didn't work, then took all the steps that we have learned. It's so easy, guys. This is a pro note. Thanks for watching. What's up, guys? We are going to talk about mic. The goal of this lesson is to mastering the mic repair like a Chinese engineer. And let's see the root of this audio IC, CPU, RFIC, also PMU, MOSFET, and dock connector exactly as the audio codec. How to check it exactly? We are going to use the audio codec way, diode measure, follow up, then checking the MOSFET volt. It changed the audio IC software exactly at the audio codec, but there is here a MOSFET which is related to code. There is a MOSFET here which is a little bit different than the audio codec. Okay, this is how to check it. This is the IC codec. Okay, and this is a volt itself. This is a root of audio. This is a root of mic, as you can see here. This is the connector and all the components that go through. This is so easy. If you have the schematic, you will be able to work on the mic super duper easy, no problem at all. Okay, pro note, when working on mic, start with cleaning the filter of mic firstly if there is a weakened sound. If no sound, no, this is not now. It's no. If no sound, change it with a new one and test it before doing anything. Okay, just like working with the LCD, because 90% it's a mic issue. You don't need to work on the circuit at all. Trust me, like 1,000 of issues, it was directly it was a mic issue. So you don't need to work on the IC or the component or whatever. It will be your last step. Okay, I just give you from A to Z. Okay, to cover all kind of problem here. Thanks for watching, guys. What's up, guys? We are going to talk about audio codec. So the goal of this lesson is to master the audio real like a Chinese engineer. Okay, sounds great. Firstly, let's see the root of the audio itself. We are going to work on audio IC, CPU, RFIC, amplifier. okay, connector in iOS, dock connector. How to check it? Always, always, always. They are the same, guys. All of them are the same. All of them are the same. Diode measure on the root as we have done in the camera, and follow up solution voltage, which we need a schematic here. Exactly the same. Okay, we are going to check the amplifier, the volt of the amplifier itself. Then we are going to check the RFIC connection with the audio, and the last step will be software Android. As we can see here, as I told you, as we did in the camera connector, the same. We are going to see here the diode measures. We are going to make a diode measure with the multimeter. In case if we didn't get this, then we are going to check the whole route. In case if we didn't get, then we are going to check the whole route. And this is the IC. We can measure IC diode also. We can measure a bin under the IC, but this is a painful, guys. This is really a painful. If you just remove the IC and check a diode under the bin of IC itself, but not the IC itself, you are going to check the bed of the board after removing the IC itself. But this is a super duper painful, so it will be better to check the root itself, okay, to understand what is going on. If the problem in the IC itself, then take out the IC, throw it away, and just bring a new IC. iPhone 6 audio volt measure, and this is how we make a voltmeter. We are going to open the schematic. We need to measure 1.8 volt here. We need to measure 1.8 volt here. The schematic will tell you exactly where to get the voltage to measure the volt here and also volt here. In case if there is no volt in all of this component, we will take those components away and just replace them, and it will work probably. Pro note, in some cases there will be a problem in hands-free connector, which may give a fake feel to CPU that you are connected the hands-free itself, so you don't hear any audio. Please remove the hands-free connector and test the audio, okay? This is so important. This is so important, guys.
What's up, guys? I have a great news for you. In case if you finish this section, you will be able like 100% to work in Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, or whatever you want. This section is just your key to work in any company you want. Let's go.
This is non-protected IC. There is no black adhesive around this IC, which means that this phone is an old phone. All old phones, there is no black adhesive around the IC. I'm gonna show you in the next video how to deal with the protected IC. I will show you in the steps. So as you see here, we bought some flux, and we are moving with the hot air on 330 and the air on 3, okay? The hot air temperature 330 and the air on 3. And as you see here, we are just touching the IC with the tweezer itself, and we are trying to move it a little bit, okay? We are not adding a force here. There is no force, just a little bit. Once you feel that, as you see here, once I feel that it is already completed desolder, I take the IC out. And this is exactly how we are going to work with the desoldering process. It's so easy. Just adding flux. Okay, after adding flux, just make the temperature of the hot air on 330 and the air on 3. Okay, this is how I always work. This is super safe, and it is so easy to do. This is the IC after we take it, as we see here. The second step, which is cleaning the IC. Let me show you how to clean the IC. Okay, firstly, we are gonna add some flux on the IC itself, and as you see here, you must put some flux here. After adding some flux to the IC itself, we are going to grab a tin and a soldering iron, and you just need to make the soldering iron on 400, okay? The temperature always of the soldering iron, it must be 400, and we are going to move around. Okay, don't push too hard, just make the tin touch the beds, okay? I'm just touching the bed with the tin, not with the soldering iron, okay? And try to move around in order to make all the tin look shiny, just like this. And this process is because we need to broke the tin of the company itself, because the company may add a tin that may melt in 300 temperature or whatever. We just need to add our tin here, and don't worry about the beds. Just move the tin around the IC as you see here, and don't worry at all about the beds, okay? I'm gonna show you in the next step how to deal with all the beds here, okay? So no worries, just move around with the beds, but don't push, okay? Move slowly. Move slowly, don't push on the bed. Then we are going to grab a shield as we see here, okay, and make a little bit of tin above the shield, as we see here, and we are going to remove all extra tin. I'm gonna show you how to do this right now. We just need to add some flux before we are moving with it with the shield itself. Okay, we have to add some flux in order to make it easier. Then we are going to move around with the soldering iron, temperature on 400, as you know, and we are going to remove all the tin, as you're gonna see here. It will be super ready for reballing. Okay, it will be super ready for reballing. So easy, guys. This is the easiest thing you will ever see. So easy, but you need to be calm. Okay, don't move too fast, don't push on the IC. Try to be a calm person while doing this. It's like an art here. You're an artist here. Okay, I'm still seeing some here. We are going to clean with alcohol, okay, or PCB cleaner, whatever, what type of it. Okay, cleaning is so vital in any kind of any processes. After finishing, you need to clean. Never ever go anywhere without cleaning. Okay, after that, we are going to check if there any kind of any bed. Guys, I forgot to tell you, you need always to do this under the microscope. Okay, never ever do this without microscope. It will be like so hard to see which one we need to work on, because we need to make all of this. As you see here, there is no extra tin here in order to make it easier to make the soldering processes again, or to make a reballing. Okay, so you must work under the microscope. So let's move to the third step, which is cleaning the board itself. Okay, we have cleaned the IC, and right now we need to clean the place of this IC before resolder it. Okay, just add some flux, and we are going to add our tin again, tin and soldering iron. Okay, tin and soldering iron. Don't forget the temperature on 400, and we are going to move around this. This is for broken the tin of the company itself. As you see here, I'm moving around. I don't care about the bed anymore. Okay, because some people are telling you, watch out, you're gonna lose the beds or whatever. No, it's okay. Just move slowly. Okay, just move slowly. As you see here, I'm just moving with my tin, just moving slowly, super slowly. As you see, this is to broke the tin of the company itself. As I told you in the IC, it is so vital to do this. Okay, and always, guys, you need to make sure that you are adding the tin and removing the tin with the shield before doing anything, because this is make it easier. This is make the desolder processes easier. Now we are gonna get the shield here. Don't forget to add some flux firstly. Temperature on 400 as usual. And let's move around with our soldering iron. Okay, but as I told you, move slowly. We don't need to lose any bed here. Just move slowly. And try to add some tin on the shield itself. As you see on the tip of this shield, there is some tin on it. Okay, this is to add some tin on the beds, because to make it easier. As you can see, I'm just moving slowly, and I don't touch the bed. I'm trying to get rid of all the tin on the bed here. So right now I'm going to the last step, which is cleaning. Okay, you need to clean with alcohol. Don't forget the cleaning processes. Never ever forget to clean. Okay, because this is make you see which bed you are going to work on. Is there any kind of any bed lost here, or is there any something happen here? So you need to make sure that everything is clear and clean before you go into desolder again. Okay, how terrible. First step is to add the stencil above the IC. Then add some tin flux above the stencil, and set the hot air temperature on 200 maximum, and the air will be on 2. And fix the stencil with the tweezers. Start the heat directly with the hot air, as you see here. And the IC should be ready in just 15 seconds. As we can see here, the IC is looking like just a new IC. Like we just got this IC. This is after reballing. Just give it like a 1 second with hot air after finishing. Let's solder it again. Let's solder the IC again. Firstly, we need to vaporize the board as we have learned in the beginner section of micro soldering. We should vaporize in order to make it easier. Okay, as you can see here, we are going to vaporize with just resin and solder iron, or maybe you use the device that we used in the beginner section. Then we are going to place the IC on the temperature 300 and the air will be on 3. Let's do the soldering processes. It's so easy. Now let's solder the IC with the hot air. Super duper easy. Okay, in modern device, the IC is got protected by a black adhesive as we can see here. So we cannot make a desolder for the IC itself without removing this black adhesive. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to work with all kind of adhesive in just this video. Okay, firstly we need to grab, or we need to bring a knife just like this. Okay, this knife is a specialist for doing a remove for a black adhesive. Okay, and make the hot air temperature on 150 170 maximum. Okay, do not exceed 170 because we do not want a tin to be melted. Okay, we are just working right now in this step in removing the black adhesive, and the air of hot air itself should be on 7 or 8, and we are going to move in a square route, in a square way. Just the hot air will move in a direction of knife. Wherever the knife go, the hot air itself will go with the knife until we finish the whole square itself, and this will remove a black adhesive around the IC, and this is so easy to do. But do not leave it, just work under the microscope to see it clearly. Okay, as you can see guys, we are just removing a black adhesive here. We are just cleaning it. Okay, this is before doing anything, you need to clear it. Okay, and as I told you, you're gonna see this in all modern devices. Okay, just move like this, and the hot air, don't forget that the hot air is moving directly where you move with the knife itself. And this is how we remove a black adhesive. As you can see here, this is the last side. We are going to move, like as you see here, this is the last side of the IC itself. Just moving, and hot air should be with you in the same direction of moving. And this is how to remove the black adhesive. Let's move to the second step, which is gonna be a little bit different from the normal IC. As you see in the previous lecture, it's gonna be completely different. Let's move on to the next step. Step number 2, we are going to add some flux. As you see here, we just add some flux, and we are going to bring a knife which is special for prying up the IC. You're gonna see how we are going to do this, and just remember, we just do this to the protected IC. We don't do something like this in the free IC as we did in the previous lecture. We just do this only to a protected IC. Okay, we are going to see what we are gonna do right now. Just bring the knife and try to insert it under the IC with the helping of hot air, but don't forget, we need to make hot air here right now in 220, and the air will be on 220, and air will be on 2. With your left hand, try to insert the knife inside the IC, but don't push so hard. It is with the help of heat. Okay, the more you heat, the more easier the knife will get in. Okay, so just try to insert more and move. Once you got inside the IC, as you see here, we are going to move circularly with the hot air around the IC in order to make it easier to pry it up. Okay, just try to get inside the IC itself. I'm just trying to get in order to pry the IC. Okay, and I'm just moving in a circle. As you can see here, it's getting easier now to get inside the IC. The IC will automatically get removed by itself. As you're gonna see right now, you will see what will happen to the IC. Just keep moving. Okay, as you can see, it's completely removed automatically, and the beds are great. We didn't lose any bed. And as you see on the IC itself also, we didn't lose any kind. But you see here, guys, the black adhesive. As you can see, there is a lot of black adhesive here, which make it harder for us. That's why the first step is so vital in order to make this IC, desoldering of this IC, make it easier. So let's move to the third step. Grab a soldering iron and put some tin on the tip and just moving like this. Okay, and don't forget to add some flux and make the soldering iron 400, and this is to lose the ice. This is to lose the tin of the company itself. We need to add our tin. Don't worry about beds. Okay, as I told you in the previous video, don't worry at all about beds, and we're gonna do the same exactly in the IC itself. But right now, just doing on the board. As you can see, we are moving so slowly. Okay, this step is so crazy. We are going to grab a knife like this. Okay, this is for cleaning a black adhesive, as you can see here. But don't forget to make the temperature also on 200, and the air will be on 2. Okay, temperature on 200 and air on 2, and we are going to clean all of this by this knife. Okay, like you are doing a cleaning dust. Okay, and let's move with the knife. As you can see here, you can move, just clean all this black adhesive like you are cleaning dust on the ground. Exactly, we are doing the same here on the board. Keep moving until you make it so clean. Okay, as you can see here, we are removing all the black adhesive. It is so vital to do this because black adhesive make it harder for us to solder the IC again, so we need to remove all of it. Just as you see, hot air and the knife in order to help us. I know it's complicated, but if you do this for only one time, it will be so easy for you to do it. Okay, so no worries at all. The first time only will be a little bit hard. Okay, let's do the same two steps for the IC itself. We did it for the board. Now let's do it for the IC. Add some flux and get the soldering iron and the team, and move it in around all the bed as we did on the board itself. We are going to do the same right now for the IC. We are doing the same for the IC. Let's move it slower as we make all the bed take this tin. Okay, the next step will be as the same as the step that we did in board. We are going to clean with the knife and the hot air. Let's clean the IC as we did from the black adhesive. Okay, just this is what we did exactly on board. We are going to do it on the IC right now here, and just move gently. Okay, it's okay to touch the bed, no worries. I need you to just clean this black adhesive, okay, because it will harm us. Next step will Last step will clean the IC with the shield or the wick and soldering iron on 400, and we are going to do the same for the board. Okay, this is the last step in cleaning. Just get your wick or your shield, whatever you call it in your country, and start to clean this tin again. This is the last step, and we are gonna do the same for the board. Just moving like this. Let's clean the IC with alcohol. Okay, let's get back to the board again to do the same. Our IC is ready for reballing. Okay, right now we are cleaning the board with the wick or shield as we did in the IC. Okay, to make it completely ready for soldering. As you can see, guys, just the same you do in the IC, we did in the board. Okay, completely the same. Just reballing will not be the same. Okay, we're not gonna make a reballing for the board. We will make a reballing only for IC. So let's move on reballing IC before adding to the board. Reballing the IC just like the previous lecture here. We just add the stencil and we added 18 flux and we moved above it with the hot air, and it's completely ready. As you can see here, it's completely getting, as you see. Then let's make the vaporization to board in order to add this IC as we did in the previous lecture. The all coming step will be the same of the previous lecture. Okay, let's make the vaporization to board. So easy, easy peasy. Okay, so then let's add the IC and just heading above it with the hot air. This is how we do soldering and desoldering for protected IC with any kind of adhesive. We are gonna follow these steps. Okay, even if you're gonna work on iPhone 14, Samsung S20, okay, Note 20, whatever you are working on, this is how we are going to work with the black adhesive or any kind of adhesive. And you know the difference between the IC who has adhesive or a normal IC, like a last lecture or the lecture before this lecture. We just know this under the microscope. You will see a black adhesive under the microscope. So you are going to follow the steps absolutely of this episode. If you don't see any kind of adhesive around the IC, then you can work normally as the lecture before this lecture. And this is exactly how we work with ICs.
Someone told me before, I don't know how to work an iPhone IC. I like to desolder the IC of Android. Is so easy. There is no protected material or stuff like that. But the Android is so easy. It's lovely to do, but I don't like the iPhone. Okay, here is a big problem here. Don't tell yourself that you don't like whatever it's iPhone, Android, or whatever. Tell yourself that you need to practice more on this iPhone in order to be able just to be like a drinking water. When you drink water every day, do you tell yourself it's so hard to drink a cold water, or it's so hard to drink a warm water? They are the same, guys, but it's all about practicing. Okay, once I see there is IC here protected, but it makes me feel so boring to go and desolder this and just reballing or whatever. Keep calm, enjoy it, okay, and just work to make yourself like it's a habit. It's a habit. It's not something you don't know or whatever. I did this every day, so it's okay. It's a habit to me, like drinking water. I don't care. It's Android, it's iPhone, it's whatever. I don't care at all. I will do it because I learned as it's a habit here. Okay, this is the secret. This is my secret. I don't tell myself, I hate iPhone 14, I hate iPhone 13, I hate iPhone X, I love iPhone 5 and iPhone whatever. No, I just go and practice, and this is how I make myself get inside this job. Make it like a habit, guys. This is the secret.
Welcome to the tools episode. Okay, let's start with our step one, which is essential tools. Those tools, guys, it's like 6 tools. Those are essential and those are basics. We cannot start our hardware repair services without those tools. Okay, so firstly, let me tell you guys, on the right side, all of these tools is regarding the soldering. Okay, all of these tools regarding the soldering. All of these tools on the left side are regarding the measuring. Okay, so are the basics of the measuring, and this are the basics of the micro soldering. So the first and the most importantly is hot air. We cannot start our work without the hot air, and this is so vital and so important. Okay, so we need to include this in our tools. Okay, secondly, soldering iron, also so important to include. We cannot work without it. Okay, it's for soldering and desoldering, both of them for soldering and desoldering, and we have spoke about them in details in our course. Okay, so right now, those are so vital. Okay, the screwdriver set, this is so important. This is for just opening the phone, and we cannot open the phone without this. So those 3 are so vital, we cannot skip them. The microscope, we can skip the microscope, but in case if we skip the microscope, we are going to work as a beginner. Okay, we are not going to take an advanced work in here. We are not going to see the roots. We are not going to see the small components, but we will be able to do some basics, just like it changing the connector and it changing the LCD, changing those all of this basics stuff. We can be able to work on this. So in case if you are not going to work as an advanced, and this is not required at all, don't buy the microscope, but we are going to include it as basic because we are an advanced technicians. Multimeter is so important, and this is for checking the root of the circuit, and this is so important. Power supply, very important, and we have a complete section about it. Okay, and the USB tester. And this is all about the hardware tools. We cannot go to work as a hardware technician without all of this. Okay, sounds cool. So this is our step one, and we have done it completely right. And this is the essential tool. So let's go directly to step two, which is creating an account on Amazon.com. The global one. It's not Amazon.es, not Amazon.br, not Amazon India, not Amazon Spain, not Amazon UK, not Amazon France. It's Amazon.com. We need to create an account on Amazon.com. Here we are, guys. This is Amazon.com. Okay, just click on here and just click on new customer here. Start here and create a new account. Even if you have an account on your Amazon that's related to the country that you are living at. Why? Because the tools that we are going to speak about, it is already in Amazon.com global, and we will be able to deliver to our country. So after making an account from here, okay, we are just going to this here, deliver to United States. Just click on this and choose whatever country you live in. Whatever country you live at, okay, wherever country you live at, just choose it, and you will be able to follow to step 3. So just recap, quick recap on step number 2. Create an account on Amazon.com global, which is here, Amazon.com. Okay, it's global, Amazon.com. So this is our second step. Our third step, brand of tools and where to buy tools exactly. Step number 3, go to Google and just write CPU Academy. This is all what you are gonna write, CPU Academy, and just go for the first website, which is here, CPU Academy. This is the logo here, and just click on this site. And there are 2 ways. We are going to follow the 2 ways just right now. I will show you the 2 ways. The first one, which is the easiest one, just click on blog here. Okay, just blog here, and then make sure you choose the right, which exactly we are gonna need to follow. We need to follow about the hardware. We don't need the LCD, we need the hardware. We don't need the software, we need the hardware. So we will choose this one. It will be updated, guys. This blog is going to be updated. Okay, so you always need to check it before you are gonna buy anything, because I always update this. As you can see, it's posted by admin. Okay, so here you go. This is the best and the cheapest hot air we can buy. Okay, and this is gonna work great with us. So what if we need to buy this hot air? I will show you how right now, and you need to make sure, guys, you are checking this. It's 110 volt. It will be based on your country, because there is 110 volt and there is 220 volt also. So it will be based on your country. So what if we need to buy this hot air? Just all we are going to do is just click on buy now, and it will directly, as you can see, it will directly go to Amazon.com, and it will deliver to my country. You will be able to add to cart or buy now right now, so you'll be able to buy everything. This is how we are going to find the tools. All the tools, you are gonna find it here inside the blog. As you can see, the soldering iron, everything that we have spoken about here in the essential tools, you are going to find it here. The multimeter is here. The opening tool is here. All you are gonna do is just click on buy now. This is all what you will do. Power supply is here. Everything. And the microscope. And this is an additional, the network test board. This is not essential, in case if you want to buy it, in case if you have the money. It's so easy to use it. So easy. The USB safety tester from essential. Okay, this is additional, in case if you are gonna work in water damage repair, and we have a complete section about this in case if you want to buy it. Okay, you are gonna find additional and essential inside the blog. Okay, and the battery activation, additional also. So this is the first way. The second way, so easy, just go to shop. The second way, just go to shop here. After going to shop, all you are going to do, just determine which category exactly you need. Let's say we need the hardware repair. Just click on it, and we can see everything related here. All we can do, just click on buy product, and it will turn you to Amazon directly. This is so easy too, but this is not updated like blog. We update blog. We always update blog. Every week I go to upload these blogs. So you can check here, and also you can check in the shop. You can use this way or this way, whatever you like.
What's up, guys? In this section, we're going to speak about interviews in this field, and I will give you all my experience in all the interviews that I have done.
during my journey, so you understand exactly how to pass any kind of interview abroad. Okay, I have been working in China, United States of America, so I will tell you exactly how to go, the basics of the interview itself, in order to understand how to work on yourself, and also for the quiz preparation. Let's do it, guys. Firstly, when they tell you about introduce yourself, you need to speak about, you need to give an experience. Do not tell people that you are a complete beginner. Just try to tell them that I have worked before in a store like 2 years or 3 years or whatever. Okay, don't say that you are a complete beginner, that this is not good. Okay, this is your first step. The second step will be to make a good CV. Okay, try to make a good CV. Do not make a white CV. Okay, you need to make a good CV. This is the second step. Because if you go in an interview for Apple or Samsung or stuff like that, they will tell you to draw a circuit. They will give you a pen and paper and they will tell you draw a circuit. This is so easy, guys. You're just gonna draw, as we have learned, the IC, capacitors and coil and whatever, and you know exactly the function of all of this. Okay, and you will just going to add a capacitor on battery in order to tell them that you understand the difference between series and parallel. Okay, and you will tell them about that this is a carry a volt that go to directly to the IC, and you will tell them the function of every component. They will hear something like this. They will tell you, dude, come, we need you, go in. Okay, this question is so important, so watch out. There is a question they will ask you, what do you see yourself after 5 years from now? You're gonna tell them that you are going to be someone who create a cell phone in 5 years from now. Okay, this reflects self-confidence. They will have in their mind that this dude, come on, this dude is gonna be something so great for our company. So watch out for this answer, because this answer is so important. I will create a mobile phone in 5 years from now. There is a question, why do I hire you? Why do I hire you? You seems like someone who came from different country to my country, so why do I hire you? Well, you didn't work in your country. Why do I hire you? You're gonna tell them that you need to work in a bigger level. You need to work in a bigger level. And this is exactly what I said, okay? I need to work in a bigger level, okay? They will tell you what bigger level exactly that you want, which is the advanced level. My country is working in this field like all of them like beginners. They don't like to create circuits. They don't like to do something like this. They just got all of components from China and they just add it inside the board and everything is fine now. This is how my country is working. But here in this country, I can be able to repair, I can be able to recycle, I can be able to do, because I want to be someone like Steve Jobs or something like this. This is my dream, to be a Steve Jobs. Easy, easy peasy. Guys, don't forget to review this course, because your review is going to help us to make an update for this course, and it will help us to be more and more stronger. This is our first course ever in Udemy, so your review will help us to be better and to always update this course and keep it updated and updated. So, is it easy to work as a hardware technician in China? I don't think so. So, it is not that easy, but let me tell you something. Firstly, you need to be able to speak a Mandarin language, okay? This is your first step to work there. You need to have a Mandarin language, and by your language, besides English, it will give you something like a step forward, that you have something they don't have. So you will be able to work in a big markets there, okay? So your language is gonna make you someone perfect here. In case if you wanna work in China, it is not that easy, but you need also to start small. Like as we said in the United States, you need also to start from stores until you reach to companies. So CPU certificate will help you in this situation, but let me tell you something here. Like a 90% of people in China know in hardware. Let me be clear with you. 90% here in China know and understand how to do a micro soldering back with this hot air, and they know how to use the soldering iron, and they have the knowledge here. But what will make you perfect here to know how
to make a software repairing and to make the LCD glass working repairing. If you know those two, we have a course here. If you just finish the course of LCD and the course of software, trust me, you will be someone special there. Okay, besides your language will give you that trusty, because they don't know your language. Besides, you know their language and you know another language and you know English. It will be something like you have the lead here. You have the lead to work in a big company, whatever you want. And this is the secret to work in China and in United States. Don't forget to review this course, because your review will help me to improve this course more and more, and it will help me to upload more courses to this to help you in your journey. See ya. Come on guys, you still didn't review the course yet? I just wait your review, because your review is gonna help us to be able to finish other courses that will reflect on you. So your review is must, and it is so important. Don't forget the review.
Welcome in the exam and certificate section. In this episode, we are going to know the importance of this certificate and how to deal with the exam itself. Okay, so no worries at all. It will be super duper easy, and you're gonna like this section, because this section, let me tell you, it is the most important section inside the whole course, because this section is gonna help you to find the work. So this certificate is cost $25 on our website cbu.academy, but to all our students, this certificate is gonna be for completely free. We are going to give you a promo code that will make this exam for completely free. So you will go to an exam before you get the certificate, and you need to pass this exam in order to take the certificate. So this exam costs $25, but we are going to give you this exam for completely free. Who can take this exam? Firstly, you need to complete those two courses. Okay, we need to complete those two courses, the screen repair mastery and mastering cell phone repair. Whatever you completed these courses on Udemy, it's okay. You have the knowledge itself, so you can go to this exam. So you cannot go this exam with only one course. You need to complete those two courses before going to this exam, because this exam combine both of two courses, the screen repair mastery, which you're gonna find on our Udemy profile, and also mastering cell phone repair, also you're gonna find it on our Udemy profile. Okay, so remember, you cannot go to the exam without two courses. How can this certificate help us? Okay, it will improve our CV, and it will give us opportunity among all interviewers, because this exam is consists of like everything you need to work. So this certificate is like a guarantee that you understand and you have the experience and knowledge in order to join those companies, whatever it's Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, Oppo, whatever. Okay, you will be able to join whatever you want, because this certificate is a guarantee that you have the experience to join them. So this is so important, guys. This is super duper important. In next episode, okay, we're gonna give you a website that we are going to take the exam on it, which you already know. It's https cbu.academy. This is our website that you will have the exam on it. Okay, and as we know, the exam costs us $25, but we are going to take it for completely free. So in the next episode, I will give you the promo code that will make this exam completely free, like $0, in order to take this exam. And after passing this exam, you will take also the certificate for completely free. See you in next episode.
laptop, we are not going to be, it's not gonna be hard as you well done, dude, you've done it. And right now let's go to the another step. Without further ado, the next will be easier, okay? Don't worry, the next two courses will be super duper easy. Software course is all about on laptop. We are not going to be, it's not gonna be hard as you imagine. It's so easy. I will tell you the basics and the intermediate level in order to be able to work in the software also. And the next course will be about LCD glass work, and this is also super easy course, okay? We are going to work together. I will tell you how to stick the monitor, how to change the glass. Okay, we are going to start from the screen. We are going to change the screen protector together. So we are going from the level of pre-beginner, okay, to the advanced. This is in LCD glass work, and in software course we are going to upper intermediate level in software. So this is all you have. If you have done this course and the software course, the LCD glass work, I would guarantee for you to make a changing career. And this is so easy to do because this job do not need a diploma at all. We don't need like a university or whatever. We just need a certificate from a course like this, and the basic level or the intermediate level will give you the push or will give you the advanced as I give you here in this hardware course. Also, I will do that in software and in LCD, so you will have all the options in order to make your career change. So see you in these courses. Don't forget to review this course because your review is gonna help us to improve more and more and to be better in next courses. See ya guys.